All right. Hey, unreasonable man. Exclamatic. Well, I don't think it'll be that interesting. It ain't that bad. The thing is, I post something from a newspaper in the community tab, and people go ah. But the thing is that in my community tab, when I actually posted a source about, and this was a week ago, about there being 8 times the number of people dying in their homes during I think it was a 2 week period uh, that the what is it the firemen what is it the emergency folks had basically found a lot of times they couldn't even take the bodies out because there's no place to put them. So you have a spike in deaths. They had a spike in deaths um, in about a couple of weeks. Oh, tinfoilniggas.com. Yeah, there's a lot of tinfoil niggas, man. No, I'm waiting for the tinfoils to come on up because they're saying that 5G is causing this stuff, right? Now, 5G's been around for 3 years. Explain why 5G is so detrimental for your health. The thing is, it hasn't been uh, fully evaluated. Number one. Number two, just like any other ionizing radiation, it will cause cancer. But you've been, but you guys still have smartphones. If you guys are worried about it, let me ask you, Reynolds, do you carry a smartphone? You carry a smartphone. Do you carry a smartphone? If you're worried about ionizing radiation, you shouldn't carry a smartphone. But they've been saying that since for about 30 years. But yet you carry one. Man, that's been using microwave, man, since they came out in the 80s. Been using microwave for 40 years, man. In fact, I started using a microwave in 1977 when I was at Cal State Long Beach, and I'm 60. Now, it doesn't matter about who has them. It don't matter who has them. The thing is, let me ask you this, bruh, Rashid. Do you have to have a phone to get sprayed by the radiation? Will the radiation go through you? Yeah, 5 gigahertz is on your Wi-Fi too. Guess where the guess where the biggest area that has 5G probably in the world. Guess where it is? Outside of China. Guess where it is? It's called the Silicon Valley. So how come Silicon Valley is not having New York numbers? You guys believe one thing is, wait a minute. You guys believe that it's 5G when there's no proof, but you don't believe there's a real virus and the deaths are being faked. Really? 5G is the last step in Palpatine's Order 66. Might as well. So you guys really believe that, and you have to have a phone to get flu-like symptoms. And so why are we getting such a big rush in deaths in symptoms all of a sudden? If 5G, they haven't built any more towers. There's also one other thing about 5G. Okay, Big Lulu, you know what, Big Lou? Guess what they were doing in London like a few weeks back? They were burning 5G towers. You'll debate anybody, really. Okay, all right, Chief. All right, Chief. There you go. There you go, Big Lou. Man, I've been telling you about this virus, man, back in fucking February. This ain't new. But now you have the Pentagon lying, in my opinion, lying, saying that it didn't come out of a lab. They're trying to cover it up. But they want to. But the thing is, they're gonna cover up a 5G tower that they're gonna build more of. Is this Big Lou? Oh, it's not you. Where's Big Lou at? He said he wants to debate about it. Yeah, basically, the biggest hot spot should have been like 5 years ago in Silicon Valley. Hey, what's up, folks? Because they don't, you know what? The thing is, it doesn't matter anyway. In 2 weeks, gonna put you guys back to work. They're gonna open up the economy. You're gonna have to go back to work and take your chances. Kenji. Well, Enoch Time, you know what? I did drop the Enoch Times video, which everybody should go see. Um, that they did a whole. Basically, the thing is that they have a very short range, and you wouldn't see this kind of spike in deaths because the towers have been up. Yeah, you know what? I don't know how many people in. I don't know how many people that was actually dead. But the thing is that um, whatever whatever the number is, I do believe it's probably in the millions because they also deactivated. There's lots of different little things because it was like a month ago they deactivated like 20 million cell phone accounts. They've been shipping in like hundreds of thousands of urns to um, to funeral homes just in Wuhan. I think they shipped like maybe 100,000 urns in Wuhan, just in funeral homes for people to be um, cremated. A spike is just paperwork, right? Yeah, well, Black Zeus, 20 million people dying. So, in other words, 2%, if it's only 2%, it's actually less than 2%. We're talking about a billion people, man. The thing is, they're not going to spend trillions of dollars on a hoax, man. The alternative media, does the alternative media is all over the place. Stephen Price. In fact, I was just in Global Research. They have 5 different authors and all disagree. All right. All right. If you want to argue 5G, what are you going to argue about it, man?
No, I wasn't arguing that 5G causes coronavirus. I think from the videos that I saw, it talks about how the electromagnetic fields can have effect on your immune system. They talked about how the RNA or the metabolization of oxygen is affected, and coronavirus happens to affect your respiratory system. So it can have a correlation, but people just jump to saying that coronavirus is caused by 5G, and that's a wrong statement.
Would not five basically, uh, just like any other ionized radiation, what is it going to cause? It's going to cause what lung?
Heats your body up. It can cause cancer.
It's going to cause cancer.
Um,
But the thing
so
is, if they turned it on in anybody near the towers, if it was that strong, they would get cooked, would they not?
I don't know if they would get cooked near the tower. Like if they got cooked near the tower, then it wouldn't be safe to be out there at all. Like there has to be certain level of tests that these things go through before they even put them in public.
In other words, no. No,
Yeah.
I'm like right across the street from a freaking tower.
Hmm.
Okay.
But
I think
different people's bodies can react differently
okay.
to the
So
radiation they're receiving.
why would you? So in other words, how long these towers been up? Like years? Like a couple, 2, 3 years?
Well, in the U.S., I see them more coming up more recently. I haven't seen them, but you
In the
said
U.S.,
Silicon Valley had them for 3 years.
Silicon
Um,
Valley's had them for longer than that.
mhm.
So in other words, so let me okay, do a thought experiment. Okay, San Francisco is about as dense as New York, right?
Right.
And San Francisco, which is Silicon Valley, which is the heart of it, that's doing all this experimentation. They're the first ones to get it, right?
Were they the first ones to get it? Because I don't know that. I know like the
Uh, uh,
West
uh,
Coast, like
Let me ask you,
Washington State.
if that's where you're doing the fucking research, who's the first people going to get it?
They should be. Yeah, they should be the first ones
They've
to get
had it.
that.
They've had it before anybody else.
Okay.
You have Google, you have Google, you have all these different companies that are actually in the Silicon Valley, in the San Jose, San Francisco area. Who's the first people that's going to get it to test the shit out?
I would, I would say military, but I guess like so there's definitely companies in Silicon Valley
The
working
military,
on it.
dude. The military, really.
Would don't they usually have the budget to test like large scale
I-
things like this
If it's
before
a,
it
if it's
goes to the public
most of the stuff is private sector. If the private sector is building it, where they going to test it at first?
in their buildings or their
in their
areas. Yeah,
area, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So do you see a lot of Google employees dying of coronavirus?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay. So in other words, just now, if San Francisco's had it a lot longer and probably has more of them, more of these towers, more
Hmm.
of these 5G sites, wouldn't you see a correlation between New York and San Francisco?
Yeah, there should be a lot more cases in San Francisco.
So how come
Definitely,
there's not?
definitely, definitely. Um, so so the side I was coming from is that if this the electromagnetic fields from 5G actually has an effect on the human body that
Mm-hmm.
would make you susceptible to catching a virus, because we're not saying that the virus doesn't exist. I think that would be kind of asinine. But like then being the way that the virus is, that it has 2 weeks to incubate in your body, it could make it so that more people get it, especially those who are affected by the EMF waves, and they just happen to be susceptible to it, and they're sharing it around.
So can you prove
So
that? So you can prove there's more 5G towers in New York than San Francisco, or Philly, or Texas, or Austin, which is another tech city,
mhm.
or basically even a place like Tucson, Arizona, which is where a lot of the sites are because you got the self-driving cars that are being tested.
Okay.
So in other words, the numbers should. In other words, why is there a big spike in one area and not in another?
Right, because Arizona, there's almost nothing.
Like I said, why is
No,
there a
no
big
cases.
spike on the East Coast where New York is
Right.
and New Jersey and around that whole central area rather than on the West Coast in the Silicon Valley if it's 5G?
How much more concentration of population is there versus San Francisco? I don't know what the population is like in San Francisco.
Why? So if it's been around longer, why is there such a big spike in New York? And all of a sudden, over the last few weeks, and still going up.
Yeah, yeah.
So why? So in other words, is so what? I mean, what all of a sudden they just they decide they're gonna just turn up the 5G over the last month or so?
Hmm. I, that could be a case, but I don't know. But like so you're down in like Southern California? Are you
Los
up in?
Angeles.
You're in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm right across the
So
street. I'm right.
like
I'm right. I'm right. I can look out my window and see a tower. Okay.
okay, and so it's just all around your city. Those towers are just there and known to be operating. You could use 5G on your phones at this
You can
time.
use 5G on the phone for Verizon,
Okay,
AT&T. Yeah,
and the T-Mobile Sprint merger. Okay,
I'm asking a question.
right. Your question was why doesn't it spike in California versus spiking in New York all of a sudden?
And why
So,
why is it deaths in California? Basically, in Southern California, especially. Okay, basically the biggest deaths in Southern California are not in Los Angeles or out in the in the out in the desert
mhm.
where
so,
there's where there's no where hardly any towers.
so what I've seen is the virus has actually been spreading more in places where you have like major international airports,
Oh,
right?
really? So why do you think that is?
Especially because it transfers quicker as you're moving between countries, especially if somebody in that country happens to get contaminated by it and come over to our side. JFK is a
Really?
huge international
Really?
airport.
So basically, so are they hooked up to a 5G tower as they're riding on a plane?
No, no. And again, I don't think I would never jump to the conclusion of saying that 5G is the cause of coronavirus. I don't think that that's right. Um, so it's just the idea of like electromagnetic fields having an effect on your body. That's
Yeah,
where my
yeah,
real
yeah.
question
Well,
lies. Yeah.
they've been having. Okay, you carry a smartphone?
Yeah, I carry a smartphone and I'm well aware. I don't sleep with it next to my head. I like to have it
It,
off or away.
it
Like,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because guess what? So in other words, so say you have say you have say you're in between your smartphone and the tower. So the radiation not gonna go through you and get to the phone, or vice versa.
So the tower would emit like a microwave
Yeah.
signal,
So what you're
which
saying? So what you're
causes
saying?
heating.
So magically, that beam, that spread of beam coming from the tower is gonna magically go around you and into the phone.
No, no, it would heat it would heat you,
It would go
like you
right
said,
through you,
cause
right?
like
Because because
cancer
because
thing.
because these things travel in a straight line, right?
So I think X-ray would go through you, and things on a higher frequency will go through you.
They all
The
go through you.
microwave signals for the
They all
phone,
go through you.
radio signals like bounce off of
They all go through you.
all stuff. So
In fact, 5G, the higher the frequency, the shorter the bandwidth, the more you can actually
okay.
deflect. Actually, the longer the wave, it will actually penetrate deeper.
Also, our bodies
So,
are that absorbent.
so if you're in a say if you're in a okay, say for instance, if you're in a building,
Hmm.
if you're in a building, do you get good reception or bad reception?
Bad reception
Bad reception. Why you think that is?
because it bounces off the walls. It doesn't have a
Bounce it
way
off
to
the
get in.
walls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The medium doesn't provide a way for the signal to travel through.
No, basically it gets dispersed and deflected according to the building materials. Like a lot of the houses in Los Angeles have what they have a wire mesh. We call it chicken wire, right? Because
Oh, they do.
a lot of the houses are stucco.
Okay.
Guess what you get inside the house?
Bad signal.
Bad signal because the wire mesh deflects the signal.
Hmm.
But the thing is, but the thing is, people will believe that there's 5G, but they're that they're undercounting the body, they're overcounting the bodies. Where's that dude that said he wants to debate 5G? Where
he,
is he
he
at?
he didn't show up. He seemed like he was already angry. He put the angry face.
Man, it doesn't matter. Angry face. He said, I want to hear what he has to
Angry
say.
face.
Why isn't Hong Kong, which borders China, doing as bad as America? Because what did Hong Kong do, Theo? Okay,
Well, Hong
you should
Kong
be
had
able,
a proper response, like South Korea. They acted on it
they
quick.
closed the borders. They didn't let nobody in.
Mhm. Yeah.
So there's the link. If y'all want to argue this stuff, there's the link. You don't have to sit in the chat. I posted the link for a reason. I posted the link in the chat I posted the link in there for a reason. Now, when I put up something I don't know why they come to my community tab and go, yeah. The thing is, it doesn't matter. They're gonna send you. They're gonna send you back to work anyway. They can't afford the economy shut down. They're not gonna inflate the numbers, especially in New York when they're gonna open it back up in a month anyway, because people get too scared to go back to work. Why would they do that? Why
Mm.
would they overinflate the numbers? I knew the numbers are going to be go up all of a sudden anyway, because I had just seen the article where it said they were undercounting the numbers by like 3,000. They had like 3 or 4,000 bodies they hadn't even tested yet.
Mm. What about that other thing streaming around about the whole population control, and then they want to want everybody to have a vaccine after this whole pandemic goes through.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Let me. Okay, what do you think? Okay, they want to have vaccinate you for what reason?
So it doesn't spread through
No,
the
no, no. So
population
why?
and
Okay, you say it's a conspiracy.
mhm,
Okay, what reason do they want to vaccinate everybody?
to have some control over the the virus potentially.
No, 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 no. You just well, okay. In other words, if it's a hoax, are
Mhm.
you saying that it's a hoax?
Well, I was just throwing it out there, yeah. So there's a whole other theory out there about like, oh, um, they're gonna want to vaccinate everybody in
Oh,
order to put a chip in you, right?
and what
And
to put a
a
chip
lot
in
of
you?
people,
Put a chip in you for what?
I don't even have that answer, but
Yeah, how many?
a lot of people,
You know the easiest way to track people without doing all that.
their phones.
Make the smartphone cheaper.
Wait, fine. Okay, yeah.
They ain't got to do all that. You make the smartphone cheaper, they will pay you to be tracked.
They'll pay you to track it.
Don't you carry one?
Yeah, I got two actually.
You got two. Oh, you
So
will have two actually.
they they
Really?
they they know where I am for sure.
So they're gonna chip you for what reason?
Mhm. So there was this one interview that was online where this guy was talking about how you wouldn't need your phone anymore. You would walk outside, say you need an Uber, and because of this whole mesh network that can have so much quicker, streamlined data, they could identify who you are, where you are, and the Uber would just show up to you, and it could confirm you are getting to the right Uber, and you go to your destination, and no phone needed for your interaction. Because the idea would be like the phone is an extension of your memory as well as a stream of information that you could tap into all the time. But
Those are
if you
called
have a
neural.
chip,
Those are neural implants.
mm, so if you have that neural implant or chip, then you wouldn't need to carry the phone.
So basically, um, if they wanted to do that and you wanted access to service, you would do. Most people would do what?
Out of convenience, they would go
They would
for it.
volunteer.
Yeah, for sure.
Why would they need to force people to do it?
Hmm.
Because not everybody will volunteer.
But if you want to access the service, would you not volunteer?
No, because you're worried about the future shit they're trying to do to you. Come on, man.
What are they trying to do to you?
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, then get off. Well, then get off my stream. You came up here.
Wait a minute. You guys.
He said it's ridiculous. Go leave. You don't want to argue about it. Leave. Now,
Don't be so.
no, do you want to be up here or not? Because I'll kick you. If you want to be disrespectful, then basically you don't have to be up here. That's up to you. Do you want to be up here? You can type in the back chat if you want to be up here. If you want to be up here, fine. If you want to be up here, I'll put you back up. If you don't, that's your last chance.
Your last chance. Now I'm all in. Hello.
Hello. Now, do you want to be?
Right.
You want? Look, let's get the ground rules because it's your last. This is like your third strike. Okay. Let's get the ground rules.
Wait a minute,
dude.
I just told you I didn't even know I was in here,
listen,
bro. I want to be respectable if you allow me. If you allow me, I'm great with
dude. And one thing you don't have to do is not talk through me when I'm talking to you. Okay. Because do you come in people's houses telling them what to do?
I try my damnedest not to. Yeah, you're right.
So you're in my house right now, right?
Right on, bro.
Okay. So if you want to be respectful,
no problem.
With like 400 people watching.
Hi, everybody.
Then be so. Now, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, dude, I had no idea you guys could hear me. I was reading this thing. It's telling me I'm waiting to get in. Now I'm just hearing my name literally on here with you guys. My bad, everybody. I was just over here like, what the hell? But no, I'm in. So yeah, I'll play by how it goes here. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming. Yeah, bro. I really think BGS, man. I think I agree with a lot of stuff you do, a lot of stuff you talk about. Over the time I've been aware of you, it's been probably almost a year now, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but this one here, bro, man, you got to know when to cover your ass. You know what I'm saying? I really think these people out there.
What? Okay, I will ask you the question again. What are they planning to do?
Oh, global domination, bro. One world, one world order. Just one everything. They control it from the rooter to the tutor.
You already have it. They already have that.
Yeah, but right now it's not so in the political stance. In the political stance, we still have the illusion of choice. You see, but no, they're gonna eradicate even that illusion. What we're moving for, and that cannot be tolerated because that means the nail is in the coffin for certain. Right now, we're on our way to full monopolization, but we still have that opportunity for something great to transpire and save us from that.
Like what?
Whatever should come. You're not in control of what to come up. I'm not in control of what to come up.
If you're gonna, one thing you'll have, if you're gonna have a conspiracy theory,
okay,
you're gonna have to have some answers.
Oh, well, I do. I'm telling you, I'm looking at all this stuff transpiring. I don't know how anybody could be missing them. Those are answers all over the place.
Like what?
Ask me with anything.
Like what?
Bro, okay, so one thing people got to stop trying to do, in my opinion, is stop trying to say that when they try to tell you that Corona and 5G are coming out at the same time, right?
No,
and some people, and then the other people sit there and say,
basically, you're wrong. 5G,
wait a minute.
But 5G has been around. 5G's been around for like 4 years. They've been
and so has Corona. So Corona's been around forever too, bro. Yeah, it's all on you can look on your can and see that it's been on. That can could be 10 years old. Okay. So yeah, they both been around.
They've been around. So in other words, if you want to spread 5G, right? Okay.
Right. First off, do you know how they even got it passed?
Look, you're gonna talk through me.
Oh no, I'm just wondering. My bad.
Think logically, okay? If you're gonna be a conspiracy theorist, be a good one.
I do what I can, bro. We'll see how we go here. Let's go. I'm with you.
If you want to put up 5G,
yeah,
and you want people to accept 5G.
No, okay. Well, prepare the question to begin with, but keep on.
If you want people to accept 5G, why would you introduce the virus to do so?
Why would you say they want you to accept it? Why don't you want them to be forced? Why do you why not say they want to force it on the people?
Can you? There's a reason. Okay, if you follow 5G, why do you think they want to implement 5G?
Because nobody wants 5G. Everybody's in their uproar.
That's not the question I asked you, sir. Why are they implementing 5G? If you've been following me for this long, why do you think
for full global domination, dictatorship?
How is 5G going to input full global domination?
Well, first off, it's uber powerful. You know what I mean? For one, if they put the pole outside your house, they can look through your walls to see you. You know what I mean? They don't need your phone. No. You gotta do some homework. You gotta do some homework, bro. You gotta do some homework. Wait. Y'all ain't done the homework. Wait, y'all ain't done no homework. This is a military grade.
Dude.
This is a military grade.
Dude.
Wait a minute. Are you guys serious right now? Are y'all laughing at this?
Dude, they're gonna collect more data on you because you voluntarily give it up. Not looking through your walls.
All right. Anyway. All right, I tried.
I don't know, man.
They're gonna look through your walls. Oh gosh, the reason
I remember that in the Deja Vu movie though with Denzel Washington. So if they could do that, they're already doing it.
They can look through your walls without fucking 5G. The drones can look through your walls with sensors. Mm-hmm. They've been able to do that since the 80s. If you ever remember, I think it was called Blue Thunder with the helicopter. Okay, they've been able to do that since the 80s. Okay.
Okay, I didn't know about Blue Thunder.
Jesus Christ. But the reason they're implementing 5G, for those that don't know, but you should know, it's called the Internet of Things, okay? If you want to self-driving cars, you want self-driving drones, You want all these devices that we have to be connected.
Yep.
The only way you're gonna have self-driving cars and delivery drones and all kinds of automation, you have to have 5G because you need a large-scale data collection. Because your self-driving car has to talk to the AI that's someplace else, and data speed to actually do this is not fast enough. So if you want self-driving vehicles, you got to have more. Number one, you got to have more 5G. That's the number one reason.
Yeah.
The second reason is basically your drones. Delivery drones, all kind of stuff. They need 5G. It's not that we need 5G. It's that if you're gonna have the Internet of Things 5G. But I've been saying you don't need that. You can actually go read the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Okay, they say that to have the automation that they need, then they're gonna have to have 5G. That's the reason.
That makes sense. So even more than being able to stream multiple devices and pass information quicker.
That's
information quicker is just for
automated
vehicles.
You need the automated vehicles, automated drones, all this kind of stuff need 5G. But they've been saying that forever. Your remote medical sites, all that stuff needs a higher data speed.
Okay. All right. What's going on? I got to make an announcement.
Yes, sir.
For all of you motherfucking Negroes, an electromagnetic wave is not the same as a goddamn virus. I don't know how you motherfuckers have never been to science class.
That's the thing, though. They didn't pay attention. Though.
Like, what the how? I swear to God. Like,
I know. They Negroes, man. But they don't believe in the virus, though. The virus ain't real, though.
Oh my God.
It's so much misinformation with this 5G where it doesn't take just a little research to debunk it, where since 2018, South Korea, whole country, was under 5G. Since 2018. Yeah. So why didn't they have an epidemic before? Their first case was in January.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, you got all these Negroes coming up with these conspiracy theories. Oh, they created it to get rid of black people. Or, they're doing this because they want to destroy the black community. And it's like, nigga, they don't gotta do that. All they gotta do is leave you niggas alone.
Yeah. All they have to do is cut off the snap cards.
Yeah, like, all they gotta do is literally just say, hey, we're gonna pass a law where for a whole week you niggas can do whatever you feel like doing without fear of prosecution. Everybody should be gone immediately.
Time of the purge, huh?
Yeah, they wouldn't even need a week. BGS, this shit would jump off in one day. Like, what I can't figure out is, look, the Negroes keep coming up with these fucking conspiracy theories. They do not have to do any of this old extra covert, elaborate shit. If they really wanted to do something to you, they would just do it.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing with Nick, the funniest shit in the world to me is a nigga be sitting up here talking about some, I'm not accepting that 5G. And then he'll get right up from his couch and go to his fucking kitchen and microwave a fucking Hot Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Negro, oh my God.
I know, you don't blow a gasket, Valdez. Don't blow a gasket. I know.
I can't make sense. Like, even if it was an issue with 5G, these Negroes act like they're even in a position to do something about
it. The thing is, if the towers aren't going to go anywhere. In fact, in London, they were burning towers. Guess what happened? The disease actually spiked even worse.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with the towers.
Because it had absolutely nothing to do. Oh my God. And you know what's so funny? Somebody said that shit to me, told us, yo, the 5G, when the 5G come out, and I'm sitting there looking at my phone, I said, nigga, I done had 5G since last year.
Yeah.
What are you talking about when it come out? It's already out.
Well, they ain't put it in flip phones yet, though, Valdez.
Oh my God. They ain't got it on the Obama phone. That's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I swear to God, man.
Don't
I,
I said,
I have lost my faith in humanity. I have.
See,
For a long time though, my family we didn't have like microwaves in the house because of the radiation from the microwave. Like
okay.
I don't know,
wow.
like
Look, here's the thing.
there's research done on it, but I guess it's not like
Here's the,
proven that it has
Okay. How many
like,
people have died from ionizing radiation from microwaves in the
I don't
last
have the answer.
in the
I
last
don't
50
know
years?
because a lot of people use microwaves, but a lot
Microwaves
of
have been
people also
around.
get
They've been
cancer, right? So
the microwave have been around since the 1970s.
mhm.
I used the first time I used a microwave was in 1976.
yeah, like you
Well,
Negroes,
Well,
these Negroes,
what on the mouse? Well, what?
well, cancer rates have went up. See, I'm not going to say 5G and microwave energy. I did nuclear power for 10 years, so I know a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
energy transmission. And the thing about it is, all of those energies do excite electrons into
Mm-hmm.
different orbits, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And like the food, it will change the lattice structure of the food.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's definitely not related to this coronavirus, right? I'm not saying it's like GMOs. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that they don't harm you, right? But it's not this virus stuff. This is something
Right.
different.
Well, yeah,
man,
basically, what is the biggest cause of cancer in the United States?
diet.
Healthy eating
Diet,
habits.
Diet.
healthy
Diet,
eating habit,
yep,
diet.
weak immunity systems. I agree with
I
that.
know. Basically, the additives that they put into your food before it even gets to you.
But it's
Preservatives,
22 though,
And
BJ.
pesticides.
basically the biggest cause of cancer, and I can vouch for that because my mother had cancer well before there were microwaves, right? The biggest cause of cancer in the United States is pesticides, boss.
Yeah, and see,
Yeah.
that's the catch 22, and that's why it's such a ridiculous, such a difficult thing to fix because you need the fucking pesticides so that the damn crops won't get killed. Then at the same time, a lot of the additives they put in the food, they would have to put it in the food to make the shit last, to give it a damn shelf life. So it's a fucking catch 22. You damned if you do, and you damned if you don't.
You'd have more people. You'd have more people dying. More people died of before the additives and all the kind of bullshit that they put in the food. Guess what the average lifespan was before that? It's 40.
40, yeah. It was
What's
low.
the average lifespan now? It's 83.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so basically, are people living longer or short? Would you rather have the the cancer risk? Which you another reason you have getting cancer is because people are living past the age of 40. So
Yeah.
you
Okay.
people get cancer in their 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Talking about some motherfucking 5G. Let me tell you something. I want to
Gosh,
be able to click on a video and the shit play instantly, nigga. I want to beam the information directly into my
My
skull, nigga.
So angry man, what you want is instant gratification via data,
I want
which is fair.
superpowers. Is
Which
what
is
I
fair.
want.
Well, but yo, BGS, let me say something real quick.
all right,
How's it going, everybody in the chat?
you
First
got
of
to
all,
speak up because we can barely hear you, man.
oh, I apologize. First
Were
of all,
you walking away from the phone or what, man? What are you doing?
oh no, I'm at work. I apologize for that.
Okay,
But first of all, I'm surprised you let that goofy motherfucker run off that far. Because
well, you know, well, the thing is,
biological agent
uh,
and magnetic wavelengths, like Angry Man said on his show yesterday, they do not correlate. There's no way. One is biometric, the other one is magnetic electric. There's no way.
it was
way.
you know now if it was a face the Epoch Times, okay, which is basically a religious conspiracy site, right?
Mm,
And they hate the New World Order, all that kind of crap, right?
mm.
Okay. Now, if it was 5G and it really was 5G, and they were actually inflating the numbers, okay, the Epoch Times, out of all the sites, would have said so. Out of all the investigative sites, the Epoch Times would have been the first ones to call up a conspiracy, right? They did a
spread
whole
that
video.
propaganda.
They did a whole because they love propaganda. They did a
Right.
whole documentary. Guess what they said? Guess what they said about the coronavirus?
No idea.
They said it came out of a fucking lab. They found basically what is it what is it what's it called zero, right?
Patient zero. Yeah.
Patient zero, right?
Mhm.
The same thing had been saying for weeks, right? This chick was a graduate student.
Mm.
She was hired to go
Hmm.
into the Wuhan Viral Institute, right, where they was supposed to be a class for a class for basically lab. Supposed to be the only thing actually more protective is the CDC, which is level 5, right, which is
Right.
highly locked down, right. Supposed
Mm.
to be a level 4. This same thing as Fort Detrick, Maryland. They have one. Infectious diseases and agents and stuff like that, right? Supposed to be
Yes.
that class of facility, right? Okay.
Mm.
Graduate student. Now they have been. Now the thing is that people saying that this is not real. This is naturally occurring. They have they went back to 2013. They have documents of them working on this guy did this particular virus. They showed the two women, the one lady that had given conferences and talks on this particular virus. Okay, and they said where they actually derived the initial specimens from. They said there was a unique specimen in cave bats like 100 miles from Wuhan.
Mm.
So they took the samples and they brought it back to lab. They've been working on this shit for 7 years, right? And what happened? Evidently, what happened with patient zero? She working on these goddamn specimens. She made a mistake. She got sprayed by the blood.
Yeah, that would do it. Direct contact with anything biological to your skin absorbs everything it touches.
And evidently she wasn't gloved up like she was supposed to be. And I had 3 people said that this, if it was released, it was probably an accident.
I knew it.
It probably
I
was an accident,
fucking
man.
knew it. I done told y'all.
It's a bit somewhere.
We don't need no women scientists.
Oh my God!
I knew he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen.
It's
Hey,
crazy.
man.
You
To
say
be
we don't
fair,
know.
Hey, if there's something go wrong, I always look at the bitch first. I ain't man.
Hey, if we'd had BJ,
BGS.
we'd have had a dude in there,
Uh,
would have never happened.
you'd have
all
been
right.
gloved up.
You'd have been gloved up.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, you
Hold on
feel-
a second, bro. We can hear you.
Okay, bad.
Let Valdez finish, and then
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
straight protocol. We look, man. Look, for all of the dudes that keep talking about 5G, let me explain something to y'all. 'Cause some of y'all are probably young, so you probably don't know the struggle. Okay. I remember trying to watch TV on a freaking black and white TV set with the knobs where you got to use the pliers to turn the damn station.
Oh,
You that old man? You are you
Yep.
really that old?
damn.
Are
I
you really
The
that old?
Viacom slide.
Check this
You
out.
got to slide that, baby.
I remember having to rewind the VHS tape when I wanted to see a movie, nigga. Right now, I could be laying in my bed watching a show, a movie on Hulu, nigga. I can get up to go to the kitchen and walk in the kitchen. I could pause it in the room, come in the kitchen, restart the motherfucker, resume the shit on my damn iPad. Then I can even go to the store and resume the shit on my phone. Nigga, that's amazing.
Yeah, dog, that crazy, man.
That shit is beautiful. And any of you dudes, look, man, I don't know why people are scared of technology. Y'all talking about this 5G shit. Y'all sound like my grandmother with VCRs and shit, man.
Oh shit!
Even she would say
do
that.
that.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's
Oh, man,
exactly what.
that's a
That was the
throwback
worst
right
sound.
Oh, that
My God.
56K was a beast.
Hey,
Yeah, man, I remember playing
try-
flash games on 56K and everything, man. It was crazy.
Try 300 baud.
Yeah, that's been really slow.
hey, be careful, y'all playing that old sound of logging on. Some people in here might think that shit activates the Manchurian candidate. And shit.
Type.
All right,
type
that's
shit.
it.
Yeah,
All
man,
right,
I just
we
wanted
got-
to say, man, that like O'Shea sent me here to say the angry man can eat his balls, though.
All right, man. All right.
Goofy cornball ass the fuck up out of here and
Hey
go.
man, bounce that whole ass nigga.
Hold on, wait, hold on a second.
That's funny right there.
Tell Angry Man. Hey, tell O'Shea to go straighten out his wig first, man.
O'Shea bald though.
O'Shea bald? Oh, he bald
Yeah,
now?
O'Shea bald. He
O'Shea
got
bald
the
now?
big lips and the wide nose.
Is he back from tricking in Uganda yet?
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
You don't know if he's when he gets back from Uganda from tricking in Uganda, man, then come back and hit us up, okay?
Type shit.
I gonna do that. I gonna do that.
Straight on this wig.
Reality man. Truth and reality man. I got a question for you. What does O'Shea dick taste like?
Oh,
I don't know, man. Ask your mom.
You do know.
Your mom. Wow, he's original. He got your mom.
Well, let's ask your mama. Truth and reality. Oh, he bounced.
Oh damn, where did he go?
He bounced.
My God.
Oh, he thought I was gonna bounce him. I said, I'm gonna let Angry Man chew on him a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's time.
He can't handle it.
He bounced.
Let's put it down.
First of all, how do you look coming around to tell another man what another man said about another man?
Because he was lying.
You look crazy doing that shit.
That nigga was lying. O'Shea didn't send him. He sent himself.
Even if he did, you look crazy.
O'Shea ain't that goddamn corny. Whether or not, goddamn.
Exactly. Exactly, James. You look crazy coming to tell another man a message from another man, whether it was said or not.
Hey, he smell funny, man. His past sticking, you dig? You know how you can tell when a nigga moving funny, man, because his past stick. Faggot.
Oh shit.
My bad, BGS. I ain't supposed to use that word, but
I mean,
yeah.
But
all right. Anyway. All right. Go ahead,
that's
man.
just weird.
Anyway, I don't get this whole thing where everybody's terrified. It's just like I said yesterday. People keep coming up with conspiracy theories because they scared. They scared this shit is gonna be some shit that's gonna wipe out the whole globe. That's what that is.
You know what it is? They want to have some type of underlying reason as to why things are the way they are, other than simply what is factually in front of them.
Yeah, human error.
There has to be another explanation. No, nigga, this is it. This is it. Because them talking about 5G, I can tell you now, when I was in Afghanistan 4 years ago.
I can barely hear you, man.
When I was in Afghanistan 4 years ago, in SATCOM, the major building right in the center of the base, they had 5G.
Yeah.
That was there already. So I'm like, this has been here in other countries. It's been around. So for you to sit here and blame a biological agent now that has been constructed in the lab, yes, but has been unfortunately exposed to the world, you cannot correlate the two. That's stupid. I done said on Angry Man's show, yo, I know it's the cousin to the virus. It is a serious, real thing.
Yeah.
North America, it's running rampant. Now,
I tell you what it is. People not understanding, like, they're exploiting the crises. Now you're gonna have the powers that be to exploit this crisis. But do I think it was some guy in down in this basement building building biological bombs? Nah, I think they really did it on accident, and the powers that be might try to exploit it. I would say that.
How are they going to exploit it, man?
Companies are losing millions right now.
Hey, y'all, let him answer. You can't. I asked him a question. Let him answer.
I'm not definitely saying that they are. What I'm saying is that we've all heard of when a crisis goes down, the powers that be may try to exploit that crisis to pass laws or, because everything I say, like I go on my Google.
So let me ask you a question, man.
No problem.
In 1 week, you see what happened to the stock market? In 1 week.
Big drop.
Yeah, I saw it dive, and that's the thing. I already know where you. Well, I ain't gonna say I already know, but
where am I going with this?
The stock market saying it doesn't make any sense for them to do it on purpose because you're not gonna crash your economy over trying to wipe out some people where you could have just cut the water and the lights off.
But in other words, so basically, if they wanted to cause this and take advantage of this, right?
Okay.
Why did the Fed spend $5 trillion in 1 week to keep the banks and the economy alive? The way it is.
At the end of the day, that's the money is more valid than that. So I would say that that's a that's right. They wouldn't have done that on purpose, and at the expense of the economy at
Okay.
5.5 trillion.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what the
No, they
problem is.
wouldn't have done it.
I'm gonna,
You're right.
Okay, go ahead, Valdez. Go ahead, Valdez, and then I'll go.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what the problem is and why everybody keeps looking at it this way. Goes back to what I've been saying. Y'all think these motherfuckers are smarter than what they are.
They do.
Y'all think that they don't have the ability to fuck up. They have fucked up, and they're trying to recover from the fuck up. And it's like a fucking train. You can't stop the motherfucker. They just gonna have to fucking weather the storm. And right now, that's what they doing. They're trying to this is not some diabolical scheme that these motherfuckers is doing. This is them being hit with some shit that they are not fucking prepared for, that they don't have the capability of really, tightening up, because this country has been such a fucking liberal playground. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what to do, and they just trying their best to fucking mitigate what losses that they can, and try, because everything you see them up there talking about right now, what they really doing is they trying to say that they didn't fuck up in the best way that they can. You feel what I'm saying? When a nigga try to make it seem, you've seen niggas fuck up and then they try to give an explanation behind the fuck up. It's like, no, nigga, you fucked up.
Yeah, they was basically, Valdez, it was like Captain America jumping in front of the train and your feet keep sliding back, and then they trying to now, like, it's just like you still sliding though, bro. You in front of the train. So
Okay.
it is what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. I'm giving you guys all a what if, right? I'm gonna give you guys a Kobayashi Maru, right? I'm give you all the tests, right? Okay. And intelligence United States is very good, right? In other words, you hear about this release probably in like November, and it comes back that it is what you think it is come out of this lab, right? So initially, what are you going to do? Are you going to jump in and panic everybody? What are you going to do first? You're going to wait, right?
Yeah, I waited like it was the Ebola. I waited like it was SARS. I waited like I thought that maybe, there's something that could have been. I mean, from my honest opinion, I'm thinking like, yo, this shit is everything else they always say is gonna be a pandemic, but somehow we dealing with it.
What you're gonna do as a government is you're not gonna do anything that's gonna cause a panic. You're gonna try to get more info on what the hell is happening and how you can actually prepare for it.
So you wait till December. All of a sudden you hear about there's a big panic in December, especially Wuhan, right? And then, in fact, they just posted this. In fact, the German newspaper actually posted this. They actually knew in January, like late January, that millions of people in China were dying of this shit. Okay, millions, not thousands, millions of people are dying of this shit in China, and the Chinese government was keeping it secret. So in February, what's the first thing that you're going to do? And South Korea and Taiwan and even Hong Kong is closing their borders. Even Vietnam is closing their borders off to China. What are you going to do?
They didn't do it. I think that they could have shut our borders, but the thing about it is, and I'm not a
I'm just asking
Trump type of dude.
I'm just asking what would you do? I'm not asking what Trump did.
What I would have done is I would have, if I'd found out about millions of people, which they knew about it, they would have known about it. The United States government. What I would have did was shut down the borders, but Donald Trump, and it's not a attack Donald Trump shit. I'm not foreign or nothing like that. What I'm saying is, when he jumped into the presidency, the first month he tried to shut down the borders, and now I made it look goofy, so he wasn't able to say like, "Look, shut down the border." That's all you would have had to do. Everybody, y'all got to come home in a week. He could have pulled everybody home in a week, shut down the borders early. But everybody, the people, you know what I mean, they were against it because they like he doing it because it's racism. You understand what I'm saying, BGS?
Okay. But the thing is, basically, it's too late because guess by January, late January, how many people from China that you have inside your borders?
Absolutely, and that's the point. But even if he wanted to jump on it early, everybody, the media and everybody would have been like, You just doing that because you being racist.
Well, basically,
Like,
what he did was, because everybody knew about Wuhan in January. What he did was what he started quarantining flights coming from China, right? Which is the more
yeah, and they were
logical.
crying. Like, don't do that. That's racist.
No, they were quarantining people coming from China. And then as the cases started to escalate, guess what they did? They started quarantining more people. All right. But once you know that the virus is real and is actually going to spread, what's the next thing you do?
You shut it down.
You
Period.
shut down the economy. That's what they're doing.
Yep, because you can't move nothing without that spread, man. Like, I gotta hit every door with my elbow. Like, y'all know how it be right now. You gotta dap your best homeboy, your mama with your damn elbow. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Right, but the one thing I'll say is they are using this to give a bailout where basically the banks was already in trouble since September. The repo market was struggling, where they were
Hey, you know
already
what's fun?
given.
Hold on.
Not to cut you off.
Hold on, James.
Go ahead, DJ.
James.
Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, the repo market. This is going to be one of the largest transfers of wealth in the history of, I don't know since when, where they're basically going to give corporate bailouts to get the economy back going. They're going to justify it. Right now, the central banks, the Federal Reserve, they're buying bonds, they're buying everything where all types of default loans, all types of things. We were already over debt. The stock market was already due for a serious correction. We was on a 10-year bull run, right? So they're using this definitely to do a lot of monetary policy, including ushering in the digital coin, the digital dollar that's coming, right? They'll use all of this to say, hey, you can spread the virus on money.
You say a digital dollar, right?
Yeah, they're going to have an equivalent Bitcoin.
So you say a digital dollar, right?
Yes, like a Fed coin. I think that's what they call it, the Fed coin.
Do you know anything about the money supply?
I do.
You do? Okay. What percentage of the money supply is actually in hard currency?
It's a small percent. It's definitely a shortage of dollars. I'd say probably 20%, 15%.
8 to 10, I would think.
Nope.
Okay. What's the
5%.
number? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So how many of your dollars are actually digital right now?
They're digital, but they're not a ledger, right? They're not a blockchain. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, so that's where I guess the confusion would be. Digital doesn't mean they printed a digital version like your credit card or what's in your ATM. It's like a blockchain ledger. Like the Fed coin would be, when you go to spend it, they could put a timer on that coin and say, hey, if you don't spend this coin in 30 days. So just like when we talk universal basic income, right? This is one way they can usher this in, where they'll say, okay, we're going to give everybody 1,000 Fed coins, and they can direct you and say, hey, if you spend it at Target, you can only spend it at these places, right? This is what when we talk about ushering it in, they hired the executive from Coinbase to the Federal Reserve to help develop this. It's coming.
Basically, okay. So what if that's the case? If that's the case, when the United States Post Office was going to start accepting Bitcoin in 2012, how come they shut it down?
I never even heard that proposed.
In other words, you didn't hear about it, right? Well, so in other words, now that you heard about it, why would they shut it down? If that's what they want.
I would say because at that time they couldn't control it.
Same reason why they shut Muammar Gaddafi down with them gold dinars. You're not about to cut in on our bread.
That is now. Well, I said it on the air many times. The reason Gaddafi was shut down is not because of gold dinars.
Well, I would like to ask why, but
that's
if you say
it's called France. I'll give you that. It's called France. It's called the CFA. It's certified the certified colonial franc. Look it up. If you put those two together, and then you will know why Gaddafi had to die. I'm not gonna say it. I've said it many times on the air and usually get in trouble behind it. I'm not gonna say it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I
There's a
remember.
real reason. There's a
I'll
real
check it out.
reason. If you go back and look at it, go back and look at what was happening just before in France's colonies, just before the Libya thing, and you'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll
Right.
take a look at it.
But there's an effect on with the central bank printing the trillions of dollars. If you look at the debt clock and how much money has been printed just this last month, they did $1 trillion just this last month, added to the debt clock, right? It pushes the asset prices up.
More than that. But the thing is, how are they going to take advantage of this crisis? That's what I want to ask.
Because the money is going to all the crony capitalists who got banker friends, and it takes that toxic assets off of them and puts it on us taxpayers. Period.
Okay, so how are the taxpayers going to pay for it?
The economy eventually is going to come back. I mean, it may take 10, 15 years, but I can tell you, I was up at Foxconn. They got 80 acres of manufacturing right north of Chicago, right? I mean, and this coronavirus is going to bring some manufacturing, because a lot of people, I don't want a lot of goods coming from China at this point, right? I mean, I think it's going to be a lot. It definitely showed a lot of weakness with us being so dependent on exports. So you are going to have some growth producing products in the U.S.
Okay, so
They're
if
gonna do it.
But Trump had already said that back in 2017, right?
Yeah. Now he got some fire to get the country behind him.
The country was already behind him.
I think he already did it.
The country's already behind him.
It's more likely that manufacturing will happen in India, Mexico, Africa, like not likely to happen in Chicago. In the States, it will more likely be AI, and we'll have less jobs.
That's what I'm saying. But I
could tell you
that I said that 3 years ago.
The Eden Corporation already ramped up, and by the end of the month, they're supplying 350,000 masks, just like that, in the U.S.
Yeah, those are masks. That's temporary.
Sure enough.
So in other words, so basically, they just spent like $5 trillion within a matter of 3 weeks to do what?
Bolster the economy?
To keep the dollar alive.
To keep it alive. To bolster your economy, really.
We could be going to the digital currency, but I don't know how much control they can have over it. Because the whole point of the ledger is decentralization, versus like the Fed coin would be another sense of control.
Okay. Say that you couldn't decrypt the coin, right? Say you couldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The coin has to be transferred to people, right?
Yep.
Correct.
And basically, to actually access your whatever it is that you get, because you're gonna have to get paid in it.
Yep.
And you're gonna have to spend it.
Yep.
If they want to control access, what 2 points do they have to control?
Where you buy
the endpoints. The endpoints, because for you to get money, you get paid, or you to spend money, you control they control them. How are they gonna keep that secret?
No, it's not gonna be secret. They gonna roll this out. It doesn't have to be secret. It's simple. You guys want to eat? You hungry? You ain't got no job? Okay, I got this Fed coin.
How does the Fed coin differ from a dollar?
Because it's trackable. The dollar isn't trackable. Like, I can give you $100 right now. You can buy something from Valdez. No one knows.
So in other words, but they are trackable. Actually, they are trackable.
Not to the degree of a blockchain.
Yes, it is.
Basically, this was back in 1992, right? And we had to do, because I was deep into conspiracy then, right? We had you used to have the conscious community meetings.
Yeah.
We had to do this. Just wrote a book, okay? And basically, he wanted to demonstrate that they were actually already tracking the money, right?
Okay.
He tore open a $20 bill and pulled out a strip. A magnetic strip.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And they said they actually track those.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
hold
they
it up to
said
the
they
light
could
and see
track
the
them.
strip in it.
They said that I talked to somebody, and I don't know if it's conspiracy theory or
It's
conspiracy
true.
fact,
It's
but
true.
they said that they can track them strips like in a 100, the 10, the
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
all of them. They can track
They
them.
track all of them.
They can track them with lasers because
Now
they got them set up like that.
it's something that you use every day that keeps you from walking out of the store with their goods. What is it called, sir?
Electromagnetic
It's
RFID.
called RFID.
Yeah.
RFID. Yep.
And basically, you can actually wave a wand over a whole truck of bills and they'll tell you exactly how many bills is in that truck.
Yep. Somebody told me that yesterday, BGS, and I was like, what? And I was like, and I thought about it,
Okay.
30
and
years.
then
But basically, they only have to do that
Correct me.
because
Correct me if I'm
95% of
wrong.
your purchases are through what? Through your card and not cash.
mostly.
Okay. Now I thought RFID was chip to chip, meaning you have a receiver chip and you have a transmitting chip. That's not how RFID works.
Basically,
That's what the magnetic
RFID.
strip of the dollar is.
Basically, RFID is basically a radio signal that bounces and excites that whatever medium you have, because a chip can be in any form, a strip, a small little
Yep.
chip, a dot, right?
Okay.
And basically, with RFID, with the radio frequency hits it and basically energizes it and it sends a signal back.
Okay. So let me show you a difference with a Fed coin that you can't do with these type of dollars. They could literally put a timer where it will pull back the currency if you don't spend it in a certain time. So if they need to stimulate the economy and people are trying to hold on to their Fed coins, they can say, hey, if you don't spend it in 30 days, you lose it. Or 3 days.
If they without even putting up a Fed coin, all they have to do is pull all the cash out of circulation.
Sad.
Right?
If
And
you're gonna
then,
do
that's
it, you're
not
gonna
going
do
to
it.
stimulate it.
And then how would you spend your? Then how would you actually get your goods and services?
Right. But look what they're doing. They're buying.
I don't bypass my question, sir.
What do you-
Okay. How would you get your if they pulled? But
All
that
the
defeats the
cash.
purpose.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
just not practical. That's why.
No.
It's not
No. What I'm saying is that doesn't align with their end goal of controlling the money.
I asked you a question. You keep bypassing it. They pulled all the cash out of circulation. How do you get your goods and services?
We have to barter.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
What do you
You
have?
don't
Do
get it.
do you have a debit card in your pocket, sir?
Oh, absolutely. You could use debit and credit. I agree.
Do you have Google Pay and Samsung Paying on your phone?
Absolutely.
So in other words, so if you use your card, so say for instance you use your card at any reader or your phone at any reader, okay, will you not be tracked?
Yeah, but I'm not saying the tracking part. I'm saying the control of where you spend. That's different.
Control of where you spend. Okay. What do you
That
mean?
is tracking. If they control where you spend, you're being tracked.
Whoa. What are you talking about, man? You got to make it make sense to me.
Okay, so the Federal Reserve is buying up assets. Do you agree with that? Them and whoever they give loans to. So the wealthy.
What? Okay.
The balance sheet.
Basically, how long have you been studying this stuff, man?
Quantitative easing, probably since you put me on the Quigley.
Okay. Why is there quantitative easing, sir?
You said, why is there quantitative easing?
Yes.
Supposedly to control the inflation rate.
No.
And prop the economy up.
No.
Hey.
I know it resulted in corporate buybacks and pushed the stock market up.
It might have pushed the stock market up, but why is there quantitative easing all over the world? It's not just here, all over the world. Why is that, sir? Remember the crisis of 2007, 2008?
Yep.
What was wrong with the banks?
Well, they were insolvent. They were insolvent. But that's
no. How do banks make money?
Giving loans.
Okay. In other words, they get money at a certain rate and they loan it out at another rate, right?
Yes.
So if you want them to make the maximum amount of money, what would you do? What would you make the Fed rate?
Zero. Negative.
That's quantitative easing, sir. So, so in other words, they make money by giving out loans, right? And they get that money back in basically solid dollars or solid work, right?
Right.
And it basically do it. It raises their what? It lowers their balance sheet, right? Or it raises their balance sheet because they actually
It raises it because they're holding the toxic debt.
Because they're holding the toxic debt, which they're still holding. How do you get it? How do you get it down? You get that stuff. You get that balance sheet down.
You're supposed to be able to raise interest rates, but every time you do it, the economy sputters.
In other words, the economy sputters. So I have to do what? You have to lower Fed rates, right? The lower you. In other words, they get free money from the Fed, a free credit from the Fed to loan to you at 3 or 4%, and they get, instead of getting them a little bit of that money, they get all of it, right? So they can actually pay down their debt faster. That's why you have quantitative easing, sir.
Hey, right. That's one.
Go ahead,
and initially, they were supposed to be temporary. You agree?
It was supposed to be temporary, but okay. Go ahead, Valdez. But this is going to be a long lesson.
If they take the paper money out of circulation, I know how I'm gonna get my goods and services.
Oh shit! hey, we don't want to hear that on air, man.
The Glock Glizzy.
No, he get it the old-fashioned way, man. He gonna hustle.
Oh, okay.
We gonna have to take it back to the barter system.
There you go.
You bartering. Give me your services and I will give you your life.
Oh shit. Okay. But anyway, the thing is, so in other words, why do you think there's still quantitative easing? They tried to raise it like maybe a year and a half ago.
Because the economy has never truly recovered.
That's
the
true
economy. I'm not talking the stock market. I'm talking also, goods.
I know, but the Fed was invented to do what? Protect the banks, not the economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in other words, if they raise rates like they were supposed to defend the dollar, why they lower it again?
They lowered it because as they started raising, remember that I want to say it was in November when it dipped and it dropped hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they had to raise. They had to lower the rate. They had raised it up. I think they almost got up to 3.3%. Yeah. And then that November, you saw the weakness because they also was reducing the balance sheet by 50 billion a month, right? And they had been doing that January all the way to that November.
So why did they drop the rates again?
Because the whole system was going to collapse.
The banks were in trouble again. They never got out of trouble, which is why the rates were at 7 or 8% before the crisis, and they haven't been anywhere near that since. Because the banks
right now, this is all pre-corona, where the repo market was shaky since November.
So in other words,
corona accelerated it.
So, which is why I put out the Black Swan event, something they could never predict. Which is why your black asses will be going back to work in May.
I'm still working now, so it didn't stop.
In other words, the rest of the people will be going back to work in May.
I got a question for you, BGS.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because
Have you read Behold the Pale Horse? Because I'm pretty sure you have.
I've read parts of it, but I haven't even looked at that book in like 25 years.
Just one perspective. I just want you to know when you made that comment just now that you still working with that petty ass laugh on the end.
Yeah,
you ain't shit.
Hey, dude. Listen. I would love to be sitting home, but I'm part of essential infrastructure. So I don't get to stop.
The thing is, the people that are not part of essential infrastructure may not get their jobs back on the other side.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to everybody. I work every day to try to help my people. So that's all I can do.
The only thing is that people at the bottom of the boat, and when there's a hole in it, eventually that water's gonna do what?
Rise.
It's gonna rise.
Yeah, we all in it together, dude. Trust me. I know. I'm trying to teach people to grow food, just whatever I can do.
Even if everybody got a garden, okay, even if everybody start growing a garden, okay, All it means is you're gonna starve to death slower. Because there's no way we can. There's not enough
Yeah.
land. There's not enough land. There's not enough people. It was not enough land people to actually support 330 million people. Without modern farming techniques, it's impossible.
Mm.
Not let alone the animals and the protein that you eat, because you're going after you slaughter all the animals. Basically, you have to feed what you feed the animals are going to have to feed people. Maybe that's a good thing. People actually lose weight.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. But no, Valdez, he jumped off. But no, I wasn't saying it to slight those who are not working.
No,
right?
no,
That wasn't the point of it.
He probably getting ready for his next show. That's probably why he jumped off.
No, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, BJS, I got a question about the banks. Would it be that detrimental to like let one of these large banks fail and disappear, like the Lehman Brothers, and then allow new banks to rise up?
Oh, that would be fine, except for one thing.
No, hold on. Let me leave and we come back.
They all tied together?
The one large bank is hiding $50 trillion of bad assets. Guess what's gonna happen when that bank fails?
Domino effect.
Everybody else pays for it.
No, I'm asking. Okay, what are you gonna do with the $50 trillion that they're hiding?
It pours out on everybody else. All the other banks are gonna get hit too.
So basically, but how you gonna actually rectify it?
Guess really bad taxes on the citizens.
Okay.
You know, how much? What's the amount
$50
of
trillion, man.
what's the amount of taxes that you collect every year from citizens?
About less than 33%.
1.7 trillion dollars.
1.7 trillion. So that would be 50 years.
Yeah. So basically, if one of these big ass banks fails, and it might, okay, say one of them fail, and all of a sudden, all these bad assets start to hit the economy. Where's the first place you're gonna head? If you heard it in the morning, where's
mortgages?
Bank run. You gonna pull your money out?
You're gonna pull your money out.
People gonna pull their money out. Okay.
Which during the coronavirus, guess what people were running to? They had to stop it. In some smaller bands, some of the smaller areas. Guess where they ran? And we ran to pull their money out.
I kind of grabbed some cash myself too.
You got some cash, but did you take all of it?
Nah, it's $2,000. Then what's gonna happen?
So how come you take all of it?
I'm still functioning with it, paying off student loans and others.
So what happens if all of a sudden you wake up and say like Lehman's Chase, and they got lines wrapped around the block?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I lose out on a portion of my money.
No, what are you gonna do? You're gonna head to the bank to try and see what you can get that's left of your money, right?
Okay.
So why don't they let the bank fail?
Okay. Because too many people try to liquidate their money.
In other words, the whole system will collapse. So if the whole system collapses, guess who gets their money?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Except if you in the bank and you do ahead of time. Nobody.
That's why they haven't let it collapse in 12 years. The banks were already collapsing in 2007, boss.
Even in the 80s, in the 80s, there was the same issues, right?
Nope.
Not like that.
Well, why is that? Because the amount of debt wasn't that high. Basically, those were savings and loans.
Okay.
And basically their assets were counted in the billions.
Okay.
Yeah, they said we got just that close to where the supermarkets, all that stuff you see in your supermarket is bought on credit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they said they was just to the point where goods weren't going to flow anymore because no bank was extending credit to the the credit lines to the businesses.
Wow. And everybody's topping off their credit lines.
Basically, it's an agreement for you to get goods from one place to another. Those are called credit lines. So for basically, your supermarket takes in goods, which is food. It has like a 30-day rotating credit, right? Takes in goods from its suppliers. It sells off the goods, takes its profits, and basically does what? Pays off it, pays back the creditors, right? You have this rotating cycle. They don't all have the same banks. And it's not just local, it's global. Because
So would it?
the average distance that item on your table, and this was back 20 years ago, traveled 1,300 miles. I'm sure it's further than that now.
Would it be possible to dissolve one bank at a time, restructure them, like they're not Bank of America anymore, but like you just break it into smaller banks that want to buy off pieces?
They did the same thing they did in 1909. They let weak banks fail, which they did. They got absorbed by bigger banks, which is what happened. They did let banks fail. They let a lot of little banks fail and got absorbed. Remember the time remember all the time Chase Manhattan and Bank of America were absorbing all these little banks?
I probably don't remember that. But
I do. Washington Mutual got swallowed up.
Yeah.
They were a no-fee bank.
Yeah. And basically all those little banks, all the little troubled banks got swallowed up. That's what happened. That's what happened. Same thing happened with J.P. Morgan in 1909, which is why you had the Federal Reserve in the first place, because the 1909 money panic that almost brought down the whole banking system.
But their current policy inflates the housing and all the asset prices, especially with them buying junk bonds and just you name it. So that's where I don't agree with the policy.
So say all these assets that these banks have on their books, right? Especially real estate. And it starts to go down. What's going to happen to their balance sheet? If the value of this property that they own, that they're holding on to, goes down, what's going to happen?
Their balance sheet becomes worse.
It becomes worse. So you have to So you have to do what? You have to prop up. You have to prop up the real estate, don't you?
Right. So what does that do to the common man who tries to buy a house?
For like
the common man so basically, is it better for the common man to have a working economy or to buy a house?
Working economy.
Better people than us have tried to figure this shit out all over the world.
Yeah.
And guess what they've come up with? Buckets. They ain't come up with nothing. There's only one way to settle. You have $300 trillion of debt in the world. It can't be. It will never be paid. Donald Trump just said he's going to send the Fed try to balance the budget in what? 2035. Which Obama said in 2011 he's going to balance the budget by 2020. Guess what? It's not. Has the budget gone up or down?
It's gone up.
It's gone up. And Donald Trump, his last budget proposal said he's going to extend that out to 2035. And this crisis has done what? Has it gone up or made it go up or go down?
Going up.
Going up. So basically, what kind of wealth is going to be transferred? There's no wealth being transferred. It's all this debt being transferred.
Yeah, debt transfer.
So at the end of this cycle, right? It's say if the Wuhan goes another 90 days, right? Which it should go to July, which is something Fauci said it should go to. Okay. All the people that need to pay their mortgages, rent landlords that need to collect their rent to pay their mortgages, small businesses that were renting places and paying mortgages to the banks and whatnot. And what happens when they go out of business? Just the small business alone. What's going to happen to their loans?
Oh, they default.
They default. What happened to the people that they were working for them? They're actually paying rent, and they can't pay rent anymore.
Lose their jobs.
They got to find a new hustle.
They had to find a new hustle, but also the people that where they were renting from, they have a mortgage.
Oh, they're not getting paid. Yeah, they're not getting paid.
What's going to happen to their mortgage on their apartment buildings and their property?
Yeah, it just keeps rolling down.
It's going to keep rolling. So basically, what is now that crisis? Because you guys think this is funny, okay?
No,
Our crisis back in 2008 that caused a whole wide world to actually damn near collapse. The default rate was about 5%. What happens if it's 30, like they're predicting? I'm asking.
yeah, it's a situation.
It just collapsed quicker.
It'll collapse. No, it hasn't
Chain
collapsed.
reaction
It's going to
quicker.
collapse. It's going to collapse. It hasn't collapsed yet.
Quicker and harder.
No,
Now,
it hasn't collapsed yet. It's not collapsing. Okay, it's
not collapsing,
it's stable.
okay.
But the thing is, if it collapses,
now
the
how
Fed
long
no.
before we recover from a collapse? Like, is that like a 10-year like
what
death sentence?
what
Or?
civilization has ever recovered from a collapse?
It's a good question, man. I have a lot of reading and research and learning to do. I have no idea.
None.
I don't know of one.
None.
Okay.
And what happens when the civilization is not just local but global?
Okay.
And you got 8 billion people, almost 8 billion people depending on the civilization to stay alive. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm getting more of like a boundary understanding of this. I don't understand it to the depth that you do.
Which is why Xi, after 2 months, walked back into Wuhan, opened up the Chinese economy again. Damn the torpedoes.
He's like, he had to take the hit.
So basically, when in May, some people say June, I say May. Some people say it's sooner. I say May. I say May. In fact, Donald Trump said the same thing. I said May 1st.
Okay.
May 1st, when everybody's got to go back, they have to don their mask, go back to work. You better pray to your God of understanding that this is just a simple virus. Because you will go back to work. And I'll be glad because I'm tired of people crying. 5G. Oh, it's not real. They're fudging the numbers. They're not gonna fudge the numbers because they want to send your ass back to work.
Yeah, they want to keep it.
Yeah.
You'd have been back to work. You'd have been back to work after Easter if it wasn't for New York. If New York wasn't going crazy, your ass would have been. You'd have been back to work Easter. Donald Trump's only holding back is because the numbers in New York are the way they are.
Yeah,
he is not causing this.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a real virus.
They're not telling New York health system to fudge the fucking numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they want you to go back to work in May, they're gonna have to have a reason. They want to have to say it's safe to go back to work.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about that constant? I want to call it a debate or argument, like where Obama says the economy is doing well now because of what he did, and Trump says that no, what he did is what was making the economy go well. Was the economy even doing good?
If you were Obama, what would you say about your legacy?
He would say what he says.
If you were Trump, what would you say about your legacy?
He would claim the victories.
He claimed the victory. That should be self-explanatory. You shouldn't have to think about that.
Okay.
I mean, he did what he had to do. Like Trump's going to do what he has to do in this crisis. Mm-hmm. This is why your ass is probably going to be going back to work in May.
Would we say that the economy was doing great? Because I never personally felt like it was doing all that great. But some people were like chanting that thing. I don't know if that's a good like mantra to have, but it just seemed like more and more people were just increasing debt. And I don't know. I know we need debt to make this thing work, but because that's just the way they make it function. But
I don't always play the stuff because I don't. Richard Martin actually puts out stuff twice a week. Rasmus, who's an expert at the Fed about the Fed because he's been studying it his whole career as an economist. And I listen to him at least once a week, amongst other things. Okay, I've been following this shit since 2000. Actually, I've been following this stuff since like 1994 when I started trading.
Okay.
Okay. The thing is, everybody knew that there was going to be a crash, basically a housing crash in 2006, 2007. But the people didn't know it was going to be global. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they'd
Okay.
have let it fall.
Okay.
There's a reason. They're not actually dumping money into the banks just because they want to dump money. The bank's capitalism doesn't work that way. They're not dumping money into the stock market as a wealth transfer because there's no wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no wealth. The Fed actually buying up fake assets to dump back into the stock market. It's only wealth because you believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do drain the economy from the little people that's holding the thing up, what happens when they default and they don't buy your products or they don't fly on your fucking planes? 3 weeks, all these airlines haven't been able to fly and they're crying. 3 weeks.
Yeah. But from what I understood, like they made like hundreds of billions of profits and they were buying back their stocks, but they didn't pay their debts off for the new planes that they got or the upgrades they were doing.
So basically, that puts them in trouble, right?
So we have to save them now.
Unless you want your basically your airline to actually crash, because there's not just one.
Well, I think United and American might go, but maybe JetBlue would be okay, or Southwest
Okay.
would be okay.
All right. You guys think this is simple? Okay.
I don't think it's simple. I'm just like
They all
my
ask for money.
thoughts.
Nobody's flying. They're all asking for money.
Mm-hmm.
Is JetBlue is JetBlue have packed planes?
No, but I know from what I understood, they started doing really well when they did the whole thing in Brazil where you could fly like in short distances. And
So what happens if nobody's flying?
yeah, their profits go down. They got to put down planes, lay off. A lot of people start losing their jobs.
And all those planes aren't purchased outright. They're mortgaged by banks.
Their mortgage, yeah, they cost.
See where I'm getting? See where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, do you agree that doesn't discount that you had a lot of executives that, if your stock goes up, you get bonuses and millions of dollars, where I know the company I work for, the executive gets $20 million a year.
Mm.
And I'm not saying he's not worth it, right? But I'm just saying, the game is slightly rigged.
So why did 50 CEOs quit just before? Was it 20 CEOs quit just when this crisis was upon them?
Didn't want to face it down.
They want to face it down. So basically, tell you this is real. This is not a hoax. It's not a drill.
I agree. There's a video game called Plague Inc. And what made this virus unique was the fact that you could have it and not have any symptoms and be transmitting it for 5 days, a week, who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what allowed it, I think, to go further than the previous SARS and MERS, where, the kill wasn't quick enough to slow it down.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay. Number one, it's a new virus, right? Never seen before, with characteristics that's unlike any other coronavirus they've ever seen. SARS, Ebola, all that kind of stuff, right? They've never seen this kind of stuff. They've never seen it. It has, and the more they study it, the more interesting it gets. Not only attacks the lungs, attacks the heart, attacks the liver,
and the kidneys too.
They're also finding out. They also attacks two other things called T cells and your blood cells. Finding out is that is not. So basically, it's stripping iron out of your platelets that carry oxygen, which is why you suffocate. So it basically takes less of the virus to actually infect you or bring about symptoms. It does something that no other virus has done so far, and people think that this is naturally occurring. And the more they find out about the virus, the more curious it actually gets.
Oh, so you don't think it's naturally occurring?
The same way I believe that there's a beachfront property in the middle of the desert.
Okay. Okay.
They
Now,
they
historically,
they have literally called this the perfect virus.
right, but smallpox, the reason WHO came about, or at least one of their big projects, was eradicating smallpox because they had identified it threatening all of humanity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
every so often, from the Spanish flu to the bubonic plague, every so often we get naturally, at least unless you believe aliens are bringing these viruses or, whatever, but we get these organisms that lay waste to thousands of us, millions. So I don't feel like it. I'm not saying it's not man-made, but I bear in mind the power of nature. It could be natural, especially the way we abuse, the earth, and we kind of a little bit careless with our health. Like we were talking about the cancer. Cancer is natural. Every day, your white blood cells kill different cells.
If it's naturally occurring, why is it that its first initial outbreak, the first cases are not out in the woods somewhere or in some other city, but within walking distance of the institute where they're studying the stuff?
I agree that location is suspicious. When you look at patient zero, she
It's
was in that
patient
area.
zero, and basically with literature that goes back like 7 years where they're actually working on this very virus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sound like fat meat to me.
No. I agree.
So
I mean,
so
it's
basically,
suspicious.
it could be could be naturally occurring, but odds are, all those two things, just those two things together. Now, let me ask you a question. You black folks, you believe in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
What if this happened? What is it if this happened in Atlanta? Like within walking distance of the CDC in Atlanta. Would you believe that it's naturally occurring?
Probably not.
Why not?
I mean, even now, when I look at the numbers in New York and the numbers in Chicago of how it's hit our communities, is really interesting.
How it's hit our communities. Why is it
Yes.
interesting?
Well, I mean, it just shows to me, maybe because we ride the transit, maybe because we're the blue collar workers, EMTs, nurses, we're on the front line, right? But
if there's going to be a disease, especially a communicable disease, where would you most likely see it happen first?
Prostitutes?
No.
I don't know.
Who is the most vulnerable people in our society?
The poor.
Homeless people, right? They're the poorest of the poor, right? They're out on the street,
yep.
They with compromised immune systems, right? Because they're out there in the elements, right?
Yep.
Who is the biggest bulk of the homeless people in the United States, especially urban cities?
I don't have numbers on that.
Black men make up 60% of your homeless population.
Oh wow.
Especially in places like New York, Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit. So if you know that, who's gonna get hit the hardest? Where the numbers are actually gonna be higher?
In those cities.
In those cities, but also with what group of people?
The homeless.
Homeless.
Black males.
Black males. Why is the biggest percentage of people coming down and dying from this virus male and black? Quite interesting, isn't it?
That is.
But it's also logical, is it not?
It is when you bring it up. Like I knew LA, I know. I got out of the military in San Diego, so I was in the LA area, not far, in your neck of the woods. And I did know, like Skid Row. I know it was like 26,000 veterans. I think they said was homeless just in that area between San Diego and LA. But Chicago, I've never seen a huge homeless population.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but they out there. I just, they got tent cities, and it's harder to see them.
But they're out there. So basically, where would you expect it to strike first?
Yeah, definitely. But okay, they're not in contact with people traveling to like Italy or So I don't know how it would get to the first homeless person.
It doesn't have to get to the first homeless person. What happens when say you have a patient zero that comes to New York, and they travel to trains and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna spread, right? But the thing is, it'll spread. People will catch it, but who's gonna die from it?
Yeah, definitely the homeless, the elderly, the diabetic.
They didn't say that black people were catching it at higher rate. They said they were doing what?
Dying.
Is that so? Basically, can you make a logical case? Because I know where you're going with it. This is specifically designed for black people, right?
Oh no, I'm not going to say that. I just saw a report where in Italy they had 60 people donate blood, and it turned out, and all of them thought they were normal, healthy. 40 of them had the virus.
Yeah,
out of 60.
If you're going to design a perfect virus, what is the two things you needed to do before it even kills people?
Hide.
You need to spread.
Yes, spread. Basically, hide from the medical profession, meaning no symptoms.
I'm actually going to post Epoch Times link. I think I already did, but I'll post it in the community page. Go look at it. I don't like them because I don't trust them. But the thing is, they showed the goddamn documents.
Okay. Well, I did hear that early on in January where I saw one post where a guy was saying, hey, this is like Corona mixed with HIV. And they were saying it had some characteristics with HIV.
In other words, the shell of it is Corona. But the thing is, the RNA inside of it has compositions of what? HIV. What I'm hearing is basically three different viruses all put together. It has characteristics of three different viruses. Because the DNA payload, in other words, they've been saying that this thing doesn't make sense because it's not working like any other coronavirus that they've ever seen. Now, nature could have come up with a perfect plan, and this random accident could have done it. But the thing is, a random accident could have emerged as a different kind of coronavirus that's almost perfect. But right in it, like within walking distance of a goddamn lab.
Yeah, the probability goes down.
Yeah, well, they say it's naturally occurring, and then the Pentagon denies that it's naturally occurring. I said that's confirmation, all confirmation that I need. It probably is.
Well, it's just like we know Russia experimented. They came up with black anthrax, supposedly. At least that's what was told to us.
Yeah, I got about 20 more minutes, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off. BGS, thanks, man. Right. It was great talking to you.
All right,
brother. Peace.
Y'all late to the party. What you guys want to say? We got about 20 more minutes.
BGS, my only question is, as far as I know it, I don't remember any documented case of finding any animal with the virus COVID-19 in it. Now, I know there's other COVID, varieties and other animals and everything. But, I mean, the last thing I found was like COVID-14 in some wayward thing. And it was late night and it was a link to a link to a link. But as far as I know, I don't even think they documented 17 or 18 in any creature. But they're saying it's coming from animals. But it is kind of odd.
What COVID-19 means is the coronavirus 2019. So they actually
from the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's more of a yearly designation instead
well,
of
basically, they
okay.
shortened it. They basically corona novel virus something 2019. So they shortened it to COVID-19.
Okay, so it's more of a datual thing than like the year it happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and also I did see the viral model in every format, and it even looks more grotesque than like the AIDS full blown AIDS virus does. I mean, this thing looks like it basically it's like the Death Star, and it just got a whole bunch of cannons on it. Pretty much, it looks like.
Basically, yeah, that's the way it was designed to attach, and it's like I said, that's why they call it the perfect virus. It doesn't take very many of them. Normally, it takes and what I've been listening to, so normally it takes a huge amount of a particular flu virus actually infects you, right, or actually for you show symptoms. As they saying, it takes like 1/10 of that amount for you to get infected by this bad boy.
Wow.
Now,
because
can I ask you a question,
it's that efficient. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
For it being that efficient, then it isn't doing like HIV or the AIDS virus does. It injects itself, mutates in the cell, and then the cell busts open, and then it goes. It kind of sounds like it's mutating the cell it hits, and then moves on to the next cell and mutates it, and then the cell becomes it through the body.
No, basically it does like any other virus. It just like any other virus. It will actually inject its DNA, and then it will create lots of copies of itself until basically the cell actually gives out and dies. The thing is that it doesn't just attack.
So you can tell the host.
It was as a factory, yeah.
Let's see. The weird thing is, we got like every pandemic, true plague. We still have the Black Plague in somebody's freezer somewhere, in somebody's scientific
basically,
study.
the bubonic plague was actually in Los Angeles because of the feces and the rats and the homeless. But the thing is that they contained it. It's not in the lab. I mean, it is in the lab, but the thing is, it's still active. The Spanish flu, even though the H1N1 actually didn't go away, actually mutated to a non-lethal form. You still have H1N1 is still around 100 years later. It just doesn't kill you.
Okay. If I remember correctly, China's having another outbreak of it as we speak.
Of what?
H1N1.
H1N1 is just the bird flu. The H1N1 or the bird flu is actually a normal flu. People still get it. It's just the flu.
Okay.
I mean, you have the flu type A, but the H1N1 is still around. It's just non-lethal. Yes, sir.
Quick question.
I know they say
last question,
biological
LaShawn.
warfare isn't an option, and we supposedly did some UN signing and everything. But do you believe any country ain't sitting there got a biolab somewhere?
Every country has a biolab somewhere. Yeah, they all do.
Even though we signed
we sign a lot of treaties that we don't. If we just signed a 6-1 treaty with Iran that we just tore up. Yeah.
That was just for those people with the theories and stuff. Well, how can it happen? Yeah, we signed something, but don't mean we're gonna follow it. And
we still do it here. What are you talking about? We still do it. The CDC still been doing it.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else had a question.
Hold
on, LaShawn. Somebody else got a question. Yeah. Somebody else has a question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm about to drop off. Thanks for the questions, BGS. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Take care. BGS. What are you saying? Basically, I just wanted to ask, like, just the whole kind of chat. Like, don't you think it's a bit weird how you can catch a virus in itself when a virus, in its definition, it's actually made from a stimulant, but it can't be made outside of the organism?
Why is it weird?
Well, think about it. Like the whole kind of like media and how it's been played out to be is that it's a very contagious thing, but in its sense, a virus is made from it's only a byproduct of a stimulant.
A stimulant.
Yes.
What do you mean?
So
What you talking
outside
about? I
of
don't know.
so like basically, so let's just say like you're allergic to peanuts, right? You would only
Uh
have an allergic reaction if you touched peanuts. It's coronavirus is this thing.
uh-huh.
It's not like something contagious. Not like HIV. You can't get it through a 2 meter distance. It's all really lies, to be honest.
Why is it
No,
lies? No, no, no,
Okay,
no, no. Why is it lies?
okay.
How do you get the flu? How do you get the
Huh?
flu? How do you get the flu?
No, it's different from a flu because
No, 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 no. How do you get the flu?
well, when you exactly it's a stimulant when your white blood cells aren't strong enough to
To fight
adapt to
off
the
to fight to,
environment.
to fight
Normally
off
it's
the
like
flu.
when it's too cold, something like that. Oh, like when you most of the time when you get
So,
like
so in other
the
words, you don't.
common flu,
So,
which is
what you're saying, you don't believe that the flus are contagious. You don't believe that a viral agent actually works on your body.
no
That's what
no
you're
no
saying.
flus are contagious, but the way coronavirus works is different because it's actually coming from, as we talked to, like radiation. It's more
No, it's
radiation
radiation.
no.
poisoning.
Well,
What's radiation?
wait. Okay, okay. So in other words, you believe it's 5G, right?
Yes, and I've
Okay,
I've got
okay.
citations to prove
Okay,
that.
you have citations. Are you from the UK?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, was it like 3 weeks ago that you guys were actually burning down 5G towers?
Only a couple, but the thing is, that's really a bit of a ploy. Only in I would say 5% of areas, but
So,
in
so, so,
cities
how, so
like
how,
I live in,
okay,
huh?
how long has London had 5G?
We've had it for a long time.
How long?
I would say we've had it prior to coronavirus at least 5-10 years.
Five. So 5, 10 years. So they've been ramping it up, right?
Yeah, they've been ramping it up proper, like even out like big cell towers, like BT. Like I think
Okay.
in your places, like maybe it's called Verizon. Like in them buildings, they have
Okay.
it
So in
all
other
over the
words, if
place.
it's been 5 years,
Yeah.
where has this virus been hiding?
The thing is,
Yeah.
they didn't say anything because, funny enough, people, the statistics of people who actually, are affected of coronavirus and are apparently dying is actually pretty much similar to the people who die of the common and cold flu. Funny enough, as you were mentioning that.
So if that is the case,
Yes.
if that's the case, then you would see the same amount, right? You wouldn't see a spike.
You wouldn't see a what?
You wouldn't see a spike. In other words, in 5G, they don't just turn 5G on and off, right? Say, okay, in the wintertime, we're gonna turn 5G up to heat people up. In the summertime, we're gonna turn it down. Do they do that?
No. It's just that they've increased production. It's more like because obviously 5G at that point it was still in its early stages.
So in other words, so basically you had this so-called big spike in viruses, right? Coronavirus, right?
Well,
Or,
it's
or,
only
or
just this.
hold on, I mean, let me answer the question. You just recent, right?
I mean, it was a bit of a lead up. I mean,
What does it lead
well,
up? So
I
so
mean,
basically,
before it was. Like, I mean, it's not just now. So it's been a spike now. But this coronavirus, it was first speculated around like at least around February.
so in other words, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
how do you explain the spike?
Yeah, as I said, like they've increased production of like 5G receptors. Like the other day, okay, think about like
So
you live in
what's that
America, so
have to do with
we've
the
got different
virus?
timing. Like
In other words,
when the lockdown was,
show me the proof of where all of a sudden you doubled and tripled the 5G sites over the past 6 weeks.
okay, I can for now I can give you just a quick anecdotal data.
No,
Like
no, no, no. How many? So did they triple the amount of sites in 6 weeks?
technically, yes.
Oh, how?
I mean, it's all around social media. Okay. The
No, they
thing is,
did.
it's
They,
different.
what they,
It's
what,
different round. It's different round in America than it is
no, no,
in
no,
the
no, 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 no,
UK.
no, no,
The
no, no.
UK,
It's
when we had the lockdown,
it's the
that's when
same.
they.
In other words, did they turn? All of a sudden, did they turn them on?
No, no,
Isn't that
no.
what
They
you're
didn't.
saying?
No, they were already on. I'm
So,
saying they
so,
rolled
so why is there a bigger spike?
because they rolled out more receptors through like
Receptors.
areas. So, okay, yeah, receptors. You see, like
Or
you see,
transmitters.
it's like yeah, transmitters, receptors in like lampposts everywhere, anywhere you can find it. And funny enough, they did this literally, I would say, a week before the actual lockdown. So that's where you see the spike.
So explain why Silicon Valley, which deals with 5G a lot more than anybody else in the United States, has lesser cases than New York City.
South Korea,
South Korea, well, South Korea too. Thank you.
Taiwan, Hong Kong.
It has less cases. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yes, than New York City.
No, I'm just saying that it's just 5G, which is the causes coronavirus.
Silicon Valley, basically
Yeah.
San Francisco, basically California, which has 40 million people, has 600 cases, 600 deaths.
See,
Why
that's
is
what I'm
that?
saying. Like that same statistic would be the yearly round for how many people die off the flu. Like it's coronavirus isn't. That's what I'm saying. It's not as deadly as they preach it to be.
Okay,
Because it's
That's not what I'm hearing.
okay.
as
Well,
Mark said,
make it make sense to me, man.
yeah,
Make it make
okay,
sense to me. Hold on a
okay,
second. Hold on a second. Basically,
yeah.
China, it was 1.5 billion people locked down the whole fucking economy for 2 months over something that didn't exist.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Of course it exists, but it's the thing is it was a bit of a ploy for the most part. It
Employed to do
wasn't.
what?
It wasn't.
Employed to do what?
I mean, that's what my point is. Like, my point is there's a bit of a hidden agenda.
What is the hidden agenda?
The hidden agenda is well, with technology, anyways. There's definitely been a lead up. This is the 5th generation. That's what it
Okay.
means. 5G,
Okay.
5th
So
generation.
in other words, if they turn
yeah,
them all on, right?
yeah.
So say you're right. Okay. Let's take your theory. Let's go ahead and take it out to its nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
Say they expand the 5G network and they turn them all on, right?
Yeah.
So why would they waste time sending people to the hospital?
See, that's the thing. There's actually been recorded and certain times round. Literally, it's going on in America as well, where it's literally just fake help centers.
So they're fake help centers. So
Fake help.
So people aren't dying, is that what you're saying?
No, people are dying, but not at the exceeded rate that they say. Because
Okay.
yet again, it's literally coronavirus is near enough the same to Lyme disease.
To Lyme disease?
Yes.
Bullshit.
I mean, you can check it. I mean,
coronavirus is nowhere near Lyme disease, man.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I mean, it has this. That's the thing. It has the same symptoms as Lyme disease. Okay, let me give you one. So it affects the melatonin in the brain for sleep. What else?
What is the major cause of death for coronavirus?
I think it's respiratory problems.
It's why do they call it coronavirus? It's basically cousin to the SARS.
Cousin to the SARS, right?
Acute respiratory syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Basically, what are the three major? What are the three organs that the coronavirus affects?
The lungs,
the heart, and what? The liver.
Yeah.
It's not Lyme. It's not Lyme disease. Lyme disease is actually transferred by a tick. They actually know what transfers Lyme disease. In fact, the first thing you get is the autoimmune disease because you have this big splotch on your leg. You see big splotches on people's legs.
Mm-hmm. No, but then I'm saying like it's close to Lyme disease because it's still a form of electromagnetic radiation symptoms, and electromagnetic symptoms cause Lyme disease as well.
Radiation has
This,
nothing to do
Wait,
with
wait,
the
wait, wait, whoa, whoa,
coronavirus.
whoa, 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 whoa! Lyme disease, you get it out of from a deer tick out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
no, you can get it from EHS as well.
Bullshit, man.
Hey man, I'm just reading from the book.
Basically, Lyme disease. They knew about Lyme disease in the 80s before they were fucking before there was fucking mobile phones.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm saying Lyme disease is it can still be caused by EHS.
Where?
What do you
Based
mean
on
by
what facts?
Where?
Hold on one second.
Well, Lyme disease is very rare. Where do you look up where you get where you get where you get Lyme disease from?
Hold on.
If you got to flip through, if you have to flip through your pages, you know, I doubt your source. You have to go back and look it up. I know what Lyme disease is because it's been around for fucking since the goddamn 80s. Talking about Lyme disease in the 80s. Before I even knew what a mobile phone was.
Says here you have what?
Yeah. Where do you get Lyme disease from?
It's saying here that normally due to what a weakened white blood cells, decreased immunity.
How do you catch it?
No, it's from this book. It's only linking it back to EMF. So any other way, I wouldn't know.
Are you not on the internet? Look up Lyme disease, man.
Sure.
Stop looking first. If you're gonna read a conspiracy book, please.
No, it's not. It's literally just
please
wireless connection to autism, Alzheimer's. Miscarriages.
That basically that is a conspiracy book. Please check. Please triple check your sources. Look up the disease itself. Lyme disease comes from a tick. You have to be out in the woods to catch it. It's the only way you get Lyme disease. Lyme disease is not a it's never been a crisis. You have to live in a rural area, or at least an area where there's ticks. Okay, Lyme disease first started in the Midwest, like Montana, Colorado, place like that. It's actually first transferred by what they call the mule deer tick. It's actually transferred from deers to you, so you get Lyme disease. And mostly white people that catch it, they're out in the woods.
Can cause a circular red rash around the tick bite and is infected off a tick. Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Next. Okay. Next. Basically, so basically, what Italy, who has the biggest the biggest deaths in Europe.
Yeah.
They have basically they did the same thing. All of a sudden they're ramping up 5G, along with Spain and France. And if you do, because you didn't want to get to, let me get to it. Okay, say it is 5G. Let's ride with this for a second. Okay, let's ride with this for a second. You got this big spike because you turned on all these 5G receptors, and all of a sudden you got thousands of people dying. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got two choices there to do what? Let people die or what? Turn them off.
Then they can't afford that. They can't afford for that to happen.
So in other words, if you have a spike to where you get so basically if turning on 5G is going to cost you 10% of your population every place you put it up, how is that good for business?
That depends on firstly the actual subcategories in that population, and furthermore if the coronavirus will last that long anyways.
So the coronavirus will last that. Wait a minute, the coronavirus will last that long? Okay, you said this is called a 5G.
It's not gonna to be honest, like, because they've got a vaccine which they're saying apparently
there's no vaccine. There's no vaccine against ionized radiation. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but hey, they're making one apparently, and they're sending it all over to Africa.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is,
why would you killing people?
Why would you make a vaccine for ionized radiation?
I don't know. Ask Bill Gates.
No. I'm asking you, sir. Bill Gates doesn't say it comes from 5G. You do.
Yep.
Why would you make a vaccine for ionized radiation?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense
In
because
other words,
obviously
no, it doesn't. It doesn't
they're
make sense.
lying.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
Exactly.
So in other words, unless you're going to turn them off. So in other words, if you're in business, and basically last time I looked, the basically the mortality rate for people that actually came down with this stuff is 11% in the UK. So you're willing to kill 11% of your population over 5G?
Yes.
And when you're trying to import people,
Wait, hold on. You cracked up. Can you say that again?
when basically Europe has to import like 750 million people to actually keep its population stable.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they trying to kill 11% of their population over fucking 5G?
They're not trying to, but
Bullshit. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
investment.
Hold on a second. According to your theory, 5G is killing. It's going to kill 11% of every people that come in contact with that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
According to your theory, according to these numbers.
I said, oh Lord. Hold on one second.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm running out of time, man. You got, in fact, we're out of time. You got to make this make sense. In other words, you haven't thought this out. You ain't thought this out. All right. What you guys got for me? Because we got a few more minutes.
So is it possible that like people would want like less population with certain people always there's definitely a group of people who get concerned about resources and overpopulation.
Okay.
And they're usually
Okay.
concerned about population in other countries too.
Okay.
Like
so what's the more
they're
efficient
not
way
being
of
given food.
what's the more efficient way of killing people, man?
I guess wars.
No, without wars.
Without wars. Crushing their economy? I don't know.
Crushing their economy. Basically, you can slowly take all the assets, slowly starve people to death.
Sanctions. Stuff like that.
Okay.
All you gotta do is cut back the welfare state. People will starve to death.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you, I was talking with my doctor yesterday, and he reminded me, despite the fact America has more deaths than Italy right now, based on population size, we actually aren't that bad.
Okay.
So, in other words,
just looking at
if you're gonna reduce population, okay, I'm gonna make you the mastermind. How would you reduce population if you're the mastermind? And to what end? How many people you want to get rid of? Let's start there.
There's 7 billion.
7.7 billion. Okay.
7.7 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they would like to bring it down to a 4 billion.
Okay, 4 billion. How would you do it? How fast are we gonna do this thing?
Yeah, it couldn't be that. It shouldn't be that fast.
How fast you want to do it?
Clear over time.
How long?
Let's say a solid 10-year, 15-year period.
10, 15-year period, right? Okay, say they release this coronavirus to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would you be shutting down your economy to actually keep these motherfuckers alive?
Well, shutting down the economy actually helps with the population reduction too, because people
based
die of
on what
starvation.
fact?
Well, I'm just saying that people could die of starvation. Probably not as much in America as in other countries.
So why would you release a virus? Why would you release a virus to do that?
It creates the fear where people would back out and stay and follow instructions, give up more of their freedoms, like because they want to be protected, they want to cling to life.
All right. I don't know. Hold on. Okay. Now, okay, let's go with that. Okay. You're in your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've run out of food.
Yeah.
But the coronavirus is out there in the street.
Yep.
Are you gonna stay in your house and starve?
A lot of people are gonna go out.
And do what?
and fight for food or
Fight for
find a way
food.
to
So
survive. Yeah.
so it'd be better to actually risk the coronavirus and kills like 5 to 10% of the folks, right?
Hmm.
Rather than starving to death, which is sure death, right?
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. People would rather go take the chance of catching the corona, possibly getting immunity to it.
So tell me why they're shutting down the economy again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said it would support, because shutting down the economy does cause deaths. There's like
How?
issues that
Where?
come along with that.
Where? Okay, where's your numbers? All that.
I don't have numbers, but I do think that if people aren't getting the income that they're used to get the
They,
food
to
and
get the food, did they
get the
do?
medicine and get the things that they need, like that.
So then they'll start doing rioting, right, and tearing shit up, right?
Well, I think they'll start attacking each other first. They'll go like,
No.
yeah,
If
people
you
aren't.
so basically, we're gonna start attacking each other and cooking people over a roast and start eating people.
I think people tend to lose that sense of like being civilized when
I know.
shit's really hitting the fan.
Your first choice. Your first choice when you're hungry is go to the neighbor and eat him. That's your first choice.
No, take the neighbor's stuff, not eat them.
Okay. Before you take the neighbor's stuff, where's your first choice to actually go get food?
Stealing from a grocery store, or
If you're in the
places
grocery
that
store, it's
provide
first. The
large
grocery
amount of
store
food.
first, right? The
Mhm.
food store is first, right?
Mhm.
Bakery plants, foods, food warehouses, grocery
Mm-hmm.
stores, right? The first place you go steal from, right?
Right.
And then you go after your neighbor.
Hmm.
And then if it goes a little further than that, then you'll eat him.
But this is in the U.S., right? But now
Anywhere,
in a
dude.
place like Kenya, right? People sell food like on the streets, and if certain people, if they don't go out to get food today, like they really don't have any money or food to eat.
If any place that doesn't have food to eat and they're starving to death, there's going to be trouble. Unless there's not that many people in the first place.
Hmm.
The thing is, where there's not that many people in the first place, you don't have a population problem, do you?
No, they wouldn't have a population problem there.
Where's the population problem with this conspiracy theory that you actually happen where they want to reduce the population? Where's it going to be at?
I guess China, India, Africa.
Africa, well, actually the bigger countries: China, India, United States, Europe.
But why?
Yeah. So why
would
are
they
they
want to reduce?
So why are they locking down the United States if that's the case?
Remember, the elites did actually say that they wanted to keep the population at least below 10 billion, or even below 7.5 billion.
They said they would the max will be 12 billion, and basically eventually it'll actually reduce itself because Europe is actually dying. Europe is actually importing people.
Yeah, the birth rate went down to 1.
So basically, Europe is actually reducing their population. They're trying to keep their population safe. So is the United States. So basically, if they want to reduce population in the United States and Europe, how come they're importing people?
Fair enough.
So come we're letting a bunch of
no.
They want to import. They want to import young people to like keep like their boomers and like that infrastructure alive, but like it doesn't mean that overall they don't want to reduce world population in terms of competing for resources.
Oh boy.
Basically, if you're gonna throw darts, man, at least hit the bullseye every once in a while.
Well, the thing is, like, for me, it's not my dart. So I'm posing the questions as like an exercise for me to get more information. But like people do bring these things up. So
it's called read.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff is there. Read. Why would they do this? You have a logical mind. Why would they do this? Why would they do this? Ionized radiation. bullshit. Come on, man. Either you gonna turn the towers on, or you gonna or not. If you're willing to tell
Yo, is this the
11% of your population to
Well, in
actually have
terms
5G, then
in terms of
why even try to close down the economy? It doesn't make sense. Just let them die and call it the
in
flu.
terms
That's
of
just the
turning
byproduct of
turning
You wouldn't call it coronavirus. You call it the flu. We have a bad case of the flu.
in terms of turning on the towers, right? So the US goes to links when they create a product, whether that's a submarine or they go through a bunch of like safety protocols to make sure that they protect their people, right? But things that get released in China, they have far less regulations and far less care of like how the things that
Exactly.
how these things affect people.
What you have. It was never supposed to get the fuck out in the first place. It's an accidental release.
Mhm.
In fact, China, they're saying that if you got a report on your desk where it wasn't thousands of people dying from this goddamn thing, it was millions of people, what would you do? The mortality rate for this motherfucker in Europe, which is a different strain than what's in the United States, what's in the most of the United States, the mortality rate is fucking 11%.
Okay.
It's 11%.
Just remember,
Do you think that's because
EMFs
there's more of a
do have
concentration
an
of
effect
people?
on
No,
Like
fetal
New York?
development as well. Remember that.
it's a. Okay, let me pull this up because
And
you
on
got.
pregnancy as well.
Excuse me.
EMFs have an effect highly on pregnancy and fetal development.
It has nothing to do.
and
Oh,
male,
come on.
Dude, it
and
has
male
nothing.
and female
Oh, what is it?
reproductive
Let me
organs.
ask you a question. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, it's corona, is it not?
Corona
No,
has
you're
nothing to do
talking
with
about
pregnancy,
Grasping at
dude.
straws, dude.
Oh, you know what, man? Go sit down and actually get your theories together because they don't make sense. They're all over the place. Basically, half of Great Britain is infertile. 50% of your men in Great Britain are infertile. If they want to reduce the population, all they have to do is let it die. They don't
Why
have
they
to do
infertile?
anything. Huh?
Why are they infertile?
Go read. Go find out.
Okay, I'll look that up.
I'm not an encyclopedia.
So let me ask you this then: how much reading do you do on a daily basis?
Let's put it this way. Just my think tank alone, they put up like 30 articles a day.
Because that's a lie.
There's
Your
what?
think tank?
My thing.
Is that a
No.
is that a group of people that you like share articles with?
Yeah.
You're just
The
mad
think
that I'm a
tank?
Jew.
Yeah.
What are you? Are you?
Well,
Mute
you
yourself.
clearly do.
Mute,
I
mute
know
your,
the
let me
hidden
mute.
agenda.
Let me mute myself.
I
Are you
know the
talking to
hidden
us?
agenda.
Are you talking to us, man?
I know the hidden agenda. It's fine.
No, he's not.
Oh gosh.
Oh, let me mute him.
It's fine. I know the hidden agenda. It's okay. I know the agenda. It's fine.
If
It's all
you,
right. I know the agenda.
why don't you put? If you're gonna talk to a dude, why don't you put him on
No.
instead of talking in the background because we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear him.
I know the mission. It's okay.
He's not listening. He's talking.
Yeah.
All right, I muted him. All right.
So you
Oh,
guys share about 30 articles a day? And do you actually get to read through that, or do you just have dialogue about it?
Am I speaking English?
Yeah, you are. You are. I'm just trying to
You
get a
asked
scale of
asked me.
like.
You asked me a goddamn question, did you not?
Yeah.
Did I not answer your goddamn question?
Yes, you did.
You did, but I want to
So
understand more about the platform and like
you're not
sort of like
it's we
'cause
we trade articles. You asked me how much do I read a day?
Mhm.
I told you.
Okay.
Thanks for
That's
the knowledge,
cool.
brothers. You take care now.
All right.
Stay safe.
I told you. Why are you? I give you an answer. Why are you questioning the answer about what I do every day?
No, I'm not questioning it. I was actually just
Yeah.
trying to get more information about it.
In other words, you want to know how well read I am. How well read are you?
I'm not challenging how well read are you. I was actually trying to figure out like how to up my like how much more I need to read. I was trying to figure out like what is the platform that you're using.
Okay,
like you're able to get 30
let me ask
articles
you,
a
Albert.
day.
Let me ask you, Albert. Is this how millennials acquire information?
Some of us, yeah.
By asking dumb questions.
Yes.
Why don't you just ask me that directly? Or do we millennials ask roundabout questions to actually figure out an answer? Or you think we're gonna lie to you?
Okay, I didn't think I was being roundabout, but yeah, I could
Why
have
don't you say, well, you
come
want to
out
know something.
directly.
What is
I
it?
could
What
have
is
come
it
out
that you
directly.
want to know?
So I definitely don't do as much
What is it?
reading,
What is it
nor
that
do
you want to know? That's the question I asked you.
how to have solid
How,
information
you want
and
to
to
know?
be able
You
to
want to know how I
articulate
do
it
what
in
I
the way that you
do? In other words, you
do.
want to know how I do what I do, right? Research, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
way to put it.
First thing you do is get Evernote. Okay.
Okay.
And then you get Twitter, and you actually pick you actually pick like anywhere from I would say 20 outlet sources that you trust. Okay. Or basically popular. New York Times, Washington Post, maybe one thing like CNN or even Fox, right? Two left, two or three left, 2 or 3 right, maybe one in the center. And then you collect one. You go to like a German newspaper or a British newspaper, like The Economist or The Telegraph or whatever, right? And then you go to a Chinese one. You go to RT, which is Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through your Twitter. Just that alone, you're going to get what? 20, 30, 40 articles or the pieces of information a day.
Local news.
The local
Stuff
news.
like that.
And you take that, you go online, you take that, you go through the articles, you read them, and you paste them into Evernote. You got your camera on, Omas. You paste that in the fucking Evernote. Okay. I have 18,000 articles in my database. Okay. Some I skim, some I actually read thoroughly. When you aggregate enough of them, they'll all make sense. Okay. And then when something pops up, you go to your database and you hit boom, you do a search. They all pop up in line. That's where you do your research. That's where you start.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
But I've been doing this for 20 years.
That's true. You got the years of experience too. All right, I appreciate you, man.
All right. Guys, anything else
All
from
right.
me, Albert? I'm gonna bounce.
No, I'll talk to you later. I'll let you bounce.
All right. All right, folks. You had your I wish millennials would just ask you a question. BGS, how do you do research? How much do you read a day? I answered the question. Anyway.
I got to think about my questions more.
Yeah, you do.
More direct. Yeah.
I think you guys just. I'm basically. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out. I know the United States have been teaching kids how to be more feminist.
Okay.
And basically think, not really even think, just kind of meander about like women do. Okay. And not think logically about the question. Okay. Well, I think that it's not even, I feel that it's an agenda. Okay. The agenda is what is the result of the agenda? Well, I don't really know, but okay. So if they do that, what's the logical outcome? If you're gonna have a good conspiracy theory, it has to be an outcome. What are they shooting for? Reduce population. Okay. If they're gonna reduce population, why would they use this instead of something more virulent?
I think one of the issues that I would say millennials face is we're getting a lot more information in this time, but like filtering through it, and like nobody does the work to filter through and really chase down the sources and figure out like, is this valid or not?
Why
Some
not?
of it resonates with them, they agree with it. Some of them just take everything they hear.
And you just basically take what you hear and you figure out what people are actually saying about it, and that's what you go with.
I think that's what a lot of millennials.
So in other words, that's how come people believe it's 5G, not because they did the research, because somebody said that it's 5G and they go online, everybody talking about it, so that must be it.
Yeah.
What I found out is the stuff that's actually real. What stuff really is the stuff that people really try to hide. Okay, what if it came out of the virus came out of China? Okay, if China's just letting it go, then it's probably not. If they're trying to hide it, guess what it would entail? They got something to hide. What are they hiding? Why are they locking down the cities and scrubbing the information when people actually talk about it? So why are
Yeah,
they why are they pulling people out of their houses, actually filming bodies that are lined up in the hall? Because they don't want you to know. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because it's killing more people than they're saying, and this stuff is way more dangerous than it's saying. So when it gets here, guess what the United States is going to do? They're going to react. Okay. Okay. What if they didn't do anything and all of a sudden 1 million people just drop dead within 3 months? What would you say?
Blame it on the government or something.
Even though it's less than 1% of the population, is 1 million people dropping dead in 3 months acceptable to you?
No.
Okay, if mortality rate of this stuff, if you catch it, is 3%, and 300 million people get it, you got 10 million people drop dead. Is that acceptable to you?
No, 10 million's worse.
10 million's worse. So is the United States doing if that's the worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario is like 11%, which is like 30 million people, right? Which is what's going on in Europe.
Okay.
And somebody walks into your fucking desk, you're the president of the United States, say, look, this virus is coming out of China, and it's got a 10% mortality rate, and it spreads very fast. And we'll look with upwards of like 10 to 30 million people dying of this stuff within the year. What do you want to do? What are you going to say? Oh, he's gone. All right, let me get out of here. All right, folks. Okay. All right. Answer the question. What are you going to do, man?
I say definitely have to.
Oh, he ain't got his phone together. All right. Now, the U.S. government already traced it back to the lab. They're lying. They
Sorry about
already
that.
know.
I don't know why that keeps happening. But
Okay.
I said you got to protect your people first.
How would you do that?
I guess informing people to the best of your ability.
Informing people, how is that going to work?
Stopping the spread of it.
How would you stop this? How would you stop the spread of it?
I think what they're doing right now is succeeding in that, because you don't want to be the first wave of it. You don't want to be the first one to catch it. That's how they're going to collect data on it.
So in other words, if they got that memo, which is the German newspaper said it, and also the Daily Mail of London said it. Also, a couple other outlets have said it. They got the memo where they know that China's undercounting the dead. They knew the spread, and it coming through Europe where there's a 10% mortality rate. And you know that, okay? You see it in your eyes. So basically, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, right? What you see them doing is makes logical sense, does it not?
Yeah.
Given what you see, and it's not just here. It's in Italy. It's in Spain. It's in France. It's basically in the UK, which said they weren't going to do it. Right? They said eventually they're going to say herd immunity. We're not going to lock down the economy. Basically, they have an 11% mortality rate.
Yeah, I thought
people that had the
Denmark,
cases,
yeah.
where basically they have children with childhood diseases because they're not going to the doctor because they're afraid to take their babies to the emergency room. They might catch this shit.
Yes, exactly.
So is the United States, what they're doing right now, a rational, logical action to what the circumstances are?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Why is that so hard to believe? Why is it so hard to believe?
A lot of people have a lot of fear of like control, and they don't really understand how their system operates to begin with. But
are you would say it's a do nothing disease, but everybody else is dying from it? Are you willing to roll the dice with your people?
I wouldn't know.
That's why they're doing what they're doing. It's a logical response. That's why everything they're doing is logical. If you look at if you look at the data,
yeah,
you look at what everything, because everybody else is doing the exact same thing. I could not long. You got okay, dude. If I put this up, you got 5 minutes, because now I'm losing patience.
Somebody else is in there. Put what up?
Well, you better put them. We better do something. You want to go back to work. Legendary Joe, are you trolling, bro? Let me go ahead and give you a respite. He might be gone already.
So, when you said you heard everything you needed to know, do you think that the U.S. was definitely going to retaliate coming after this?
Retaliate what?
Well, if it's something created in a lab and they're hiding the information of like how bad it's spreading in China, like, is this is a big issue between the two countries, right? Between the two standing countries.
Dude, you got to mute your feed.
Is this is a big issue?
Mute YouTube. You got to mute YouTube, dude. Jesus.
So we would hope that it's not intentional. And
If did anybody say it was intentional? They would know if it was intentional. Everything said this is accidental.
Okay.
If they were intentional, would you make the kill rate 10%? If you're China.
Okay, they would want it to kill quicker.
They want to kill more. You make it 20%.
Okay.
And you would, if you wanted to basically kill people, would you kill your own people first?
If you want to make it look like you're not at fault, play it off. I don't know if you could contain it.
Really do. Really? So you're willing to kill 20 million of your people just to make it look good?
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
All right, I've been jumping in and out of this, so pardon me if I missed some of the context. But one of the things I did want to say was I hear it ain't even, you know what, it ain't even about the dudes that's necessarily on this panel, but I'm just talking about in general when we have these conversations or when these conversations come up, it's always a lot of this planning and just like brainstorming about shit. And the question that I wanted to really propose is, let's say that everything is happening the way a lot of these dudes say it's happening. 5G, black people could be targeted. What are y'all gonna do about it? Like, as black men, like, let's say the stuff happens the way y'all saying it's happening. What are y'all really going to do about it? And when I say that, I'm not necessarily trying to say start a war, do nothing like that. Are you even able to get the fuck out of the way? If it's really going down like y'all say it's going down. That's what I want to know.
Ain't going nowhere, man.
I mean, because, and the reason why I say that is because, look, you know me, I ain't got no problem, you know, not necessarily going in circles with stuff, but like breaking something down. But it does come to a point where one must ask themselves, why do you even care what's happening? Because do you have an ability to affect it? Do you have an ability to put yourself in a position to where you're not affected? Are we talking about this stuff so we can prepare? It just seems like endless debate just for the sake of debating the shit, or I just want to be right, or I want to ping pong this stuff out of it. Like, for me personally, the reason why, you know, I listen to certain people is because they allow me to see the future and maybe see angles that I didn't see. So a lot of stuff, you know, listening to you from like 2-3 years ago, some of this stuff I already kind of knew. I'm not gonna say I knew was coming like exactly how it is, but I had an idea. Okay, there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna break down in certain type of ways. You heard me say years ago, like 2020 is gonna be a thing. I'm not even talking about no coronavirus. I'm just talking about things like automation and shit like that. So the point is putting myself in a position where I didn't need the job.
or putting myself in a position where I had different ways of getting money. So
Mhm.
therefore, I'm minimally affected by this stuff. Same thing with my family, same thing, stuff like that. That was my purpose. But when I hear a lot of people talk, it's like it really ain't going no fucking where. It's kind of like the church where they talk about God, they talk about the book, but they
Mhm.
don't even rip the actual value out of what the book actually has to give. It's just fucking moving sand back and forth for no fucking reason. I just want to put it out there.
You know, if they had a theory that made sense, you know, I would entertain it. We could talk about it. When actually they get on and start talking about it, it doesn't make any sense. I say, okay, so
Well,
to what end?
BGS, it's all your fault because you the one that opens the door on. You keep on opening the door in the bush.
I know what I'm saying. I want
But
to hear
no,
that.
you need to actually hear some of these people so that you can know what to fight against. Because ignorance it festers under the surface in a way, and then it doesn't really come to the forefront for everyone. So hearing them say some of this stuff, it makes perfect fucking sense to them. But for the well, I'm not going to say for the learner because not everybody is up to. I shouldn't say up to par. Not everyone is educated on every subject.
Mhm.
So why the person be uneducated? Why can't it just be difference of opinion?
I got a quote for your
I'm not
ass.
saying that you.
I
Wait,
got
wait,
a
wait, hold on. Let me make
I
sure I
got a
get this
quote
right.
for your ass.
Hold
The
on, hold
It's
most
on.
not that you
ignorant.
uneducated, it's that you're not educated in that area. That does not mean that you're uneducated.
So what
That's
makes you so
another
much more
ignorant ass
educated than
shit that
someone
we always
else?
deal
You
with.
just sharing your opinion, just like someone else sharing
No.
their opinion.
I'm not sharing an
That's
opinion.
the first thing that everybody that's on some bull,
It says,
folks.
in my opinion.
That opinion shit. That is if you don't listen to nothing else in this whole damn stream, when motherfuckers start trying to equate opinions like all
With
opinions
facts.
are equal.
No. Yeah.
That's how you know you on some bullshit.
Here you go. I put a whole bunch of posts from doctors, virologists, from educated personnel who teach about the sciences within medicine. Look through the chats real quick. You'll see the names of them since I couldn't post the exact links. So then
okay.
you guys could get.
Go ahead. Let me give you your wrench, man. I thought you had a wrench already.
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry. But
Okay.
so you guys can go ahead and get educated on this stuff because like I'm not gonna say I know everything because okay, the position that I'm in, it gives me some knowledge and then also my past gives me a lot more knowledge. And then on top of it, what BGS was talking about earlier, I correlated my information similar to that since that on 18. And I learned that from my great uncle who passed away not too long ago. But like he taught me, okay, you never listen to one channel. You always listen to what the opposition has to say. You always listen to what the opposition has to say. And then
I'm
you
not
go over
saying
to
to not
BBC,
listen to.
and then you go to like now we got RT like you said, and now we got Al Jazeera and all that. Listen to the people who don't like you so you understand
But
what
that's.
other.
And I understand that, but that's not even what I'm talking about. Like when you look specifically, I'm not even talking about the females. Damn that. That's not what we talk about today. Just
no, we're not
talking
talking
about
about that.
black men. Just talk about black men. Like when I hear the Illuminati shit, I'll be talking to folks that they will swear to God about the Illuminati and some fucking blood sacrifice Luciferian shit on. And I'm talking about off of YouTube. I'm talking about real life. And if I ask them,
I got quite a few of those.
hold on, but I'm asking. But I will say, do you know who the Boule is? No. Do you know what Jack and Jill is? No. And I'll be like, so you don't know the shit that's actually in your
You're saying no,
backyard.
and I do. That's the problem. I got.
No. I'm not. No, I'm talking about. I will. No. Hold on. You're not listening to me. I'm talking about. I'm talking about. The same folks that focus on the Hollywood shit won't know shit about some shit that actually can be verified and actually can be looked up. Like so, it's like when people will put their focus on shit and just have tunnel vision on certain shit, and then I ask myself, so question, what is the purpose of this and that? What is the purpose of understanding this? Like really, why are you so interested in it? And it because at some point it becomes a cost benefit analysis. It just becomes you just focus on shit to not really doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
You see
But I
what
want
I'm saying?
I want to get to Steve about saying that people are voicing their opinion.
Yeah, Uncle BGS. Look, you was getting on a young cat, Onomas, whatever his name is, and I mean the dude had difference of opinion. I mean you had to talk down to the dude because actually
No. Not talking down talk.
When did I talk
You know,
down to
some
the dude?
people think the world is flat. It's a difference of
hold on,
opinion.
Edward Anderson. Hold on, just
Hold on. You guys can come back in a second. I want to talk to him.
all right.
Oh shit.
Oh man, come on. All right, let's talk.
What are you talking about, man?
So yeah, like Onimus, you know, you just talking down to the dude like, oh, you need to read some books, you need to do that. All right, come on, man. That dude has a difference of opinion that's different from yours, but again, I don't mean he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, did it sound like he knew what he's talking about?
I say this. It sounded like the dude.
No. Did he sound like did he knew what he was talking about?
I said it sounded like the young brother lacked confidence. And
No,
it sounded like
did he sound like when I questioned him? You can lack confidence all you want. You got up here, okay? And I let you, and I do more than most people. I let you run with your theory, and all I did was question your theory. You defeat your own argument. I don't have to do it. But if you persist, because Onimus was on here from the very beginning. He was on here for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. And I actually got up here because you said if anyone else has darts to throw about the conspiracy, and I say I have darts to throw. And so I read Zero Hedge like you read Zero Hedge. I read the Russian news like you read it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, that's
what. Okay. Give me your theory.
All right. Well, on Zero Hedge, they presented an article how it came out of the lab in Wuhan, and they connected to the Chinese scientist that was in Canada at the time. They say how she exported the virus to Wuhan, how it escaped to Wuhan, and my theory is that this is tied to what we saw with the tank movements here in the U.S. Remember that you and Ty City were talking about the tank movements. Ty City was playing it down, saying, "Oh, that's not anything," and you saying it was something big. I think the virus and the tank movements, I think, is all connected.
Okay, how are they connected?
I think this virus, really, to be honest with you, is a cover for martial law.
Is a cover for martial law?
Yeah.
Okay. How so?
And that it's perfect. I mean, if I was a little, well, let me not say that because then people yell. If I was a person that wanted to depopulate the world, that's how I would do it. If you release this, okay, so you release this coronavirus, right? You having people that's scared to come in contact with other people. You can't assemble. So since you scared to come in contact with other people, you can't assemble. You have everyone in their house, and as they're in their houses, you're moving tanks throughout the cities, and everyone just in their house scared. And so because everyone's in their house scared, no one's out looking and say, "Hey, why tanks move throughout my city? Hey, let's protest." Because guess what? You have a curfew now, saying that you have a curfew and you can't assemble. So to me, it's perfect. It's a perfect way to tell people shut up and stay in your house.
So basically, you would lock down and ruin the whole economy just to do that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Think about it. Georgia Guidestones, someone put up earlier, depopulation.
No. Depopulation. Okay.
Bill Gates said all the time. Look at his TED talk. He said, "Oh, there's too many people in the world. We can help get rid of people." And he said vaccines is one of the ways.
Where is Bill Gates actually trying to depopulate? Because it makes sense.
He's trying to depopulate in the coronavirus vaccine.
No. Where's Bill? Because Bill Gates has been doing vaccines for the last 20 years. Where is he actually located for the most part with these vaccines?
I mean, here in the States, what? I mean, what?
No. Well, you do research like I do. I'm asking you.
To narrow it down is Broadway. Say like, where's
Africa? Africa. Why is he trying to depopulate, slow down Africa's population?
Well, really, African population growth by really the year 2050 is said. Africa is going to be the next continent to do business on.
So if Africa's going to be a rival, if you're going to depopulate any place, where are you going to depopulate?
Well, they already started in Kenya. They gave women sterilizations under the guise of tetanus shots. So
I understand that. We know Kenya is in Africa, is it not?
It is. So I'm saying. So I listed Kenya is one place, right?
They've been doing it all over the continent, and it's not just Kenya. They didn't just start there. They started in Rwanda first. But go ahead.
Okay. But my thing is that I don't believe that it's just meant to just stop in Africa. It's here too. And they've been wanting to deindustrialize the U.S. and subjugate, to me, the U.S. people is slaves and it's serfs. And to me, this coronavirus is a good way for them to do it. Because right now, they're robbing you blind. They're giving money to the banks, and the people not even saying anything. They're using coronavirus, all the money to the banks and Wall Street and the Fed. You read like I read. The Fed's bailing out companies with junk bonds. They buying up junk bonds. Come on.
Why are they doing it?
What?
Why are they doing it?
Okay, the narrative is to help the economy, but buying up junk bonds don't help the economy. Like there's this guy, Indian guy on CNBC. He said they need to let the companies fail. They need to bail out Main Street and let the companies fail.
Okay, if those companies fail,
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, "Oh well, what about people's pension funds, right?"
No. Who holds the bonds?
You're gonna say the pension funds hold the bonds, right?
Pension funds do hold the bonds. Who else holds the bonds?
But my thing is this: the people's money's going anyway. It's already gone. The people don't realize the money's gone. It's not there.
Who else sold the bonds?
Wall Street and pension funds.
Your banks hold the bonds. Why is the Fed buying up bonds?
Ultimately to bail out the banks, but the banks not even loaning people money, man.
If the banks fail, what happens to the economy?
You're gonna see the economy goes down, right? But that's the same thing they said in 2008. Oh, too big to fail, got to bail out the banks. And look how they helped us out. The banks got the money, the people got screwed. Come on, Uncle BGS. Y'all fall for the same trick twice.
Look, hey. What did I say about respect? What did I say about respect?
I respect you.
Well, then stop yelling at me.
I ain't yelling. I'm passionate. I ain't yelling.
You are yelling. Oh, you're passionate. Calm down. Don't tell me come on. Okay? Is the United States the only place that actually did it? Quantitative easing.
Yeah, but in the same process as they're doing it, they're killing the dollar.
Are they the only country that did it?
No, they're not. The ECB did it. European Central Bank did it.
Africa
Great Britain did it as well.
ECB, basically Great Britain is in Europe. They're all the same thing. All the countries in Europe did it.
Well, the only reason why I say
the Chinese did it. All the Asian banks did it. Korea did it. They all did it. Why they do that?
They did to help keep the economies afloat.
Keep the economies afloat. Why do you think they did in the United States then?
So my thing is this. It's a sham because...
That's my question first. Why do you think the United States did it?
Help keep the banks afloat.
Keep the economy afloat. If you read Zero Hedge, you should know that already. That's why they did it. Zero Hedge was talking. Remember they talked about Deutsche Bank?
Yeah, Deutsche Bank's on the verge of collapse.
It was on the verge of collapse. Why did they bail it out?
They can't let it fail because if it fails, Germany goes under.
Not only Germany, but who else?
Oh, all the bondholders of
all of Europe goes down. Whole place goes down. They also, if you read Zero Hedge, the four big banks, how much of debt do they have locked up in the United States in bad assets?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If you read that article, the four big banks in the United States have how much troubled assets under their roof?
I want to say trillions. I don't
$200 trillion. In other words, how is martial law going to help that?
Well, Ray Dalio said it, and he's trying to warn people on the slick, on the humble, but people not really listening.
How
let me get
martial law going to help that?
Okay, just let me explain. So they know that people's money's not really there anymore. And Ray Dalio said that when the pensions go under, and he said within like the year 2021, he said people gonna be like protesting, be angry. And he said that the government needs to get ahead of it. So maybe the government is getting ahead of it by moving the tanks in place, so that way if you try to protest, they sit you down.
Okay.
When they sit you down,
how many?
6 feet under.
How many tanks do you have?
Hmm?
How many tanks do you have? Basically, do you know how many people are in the United States?
About 300 something million.
331 million. Do you
Mhm.
have enough troops and material to actually stop 331 million people from rioting?
Well, with advances in technology, almost, yeah. Because it wouldn't just be tanks. You would have the tanks, but you also would have drones too.
Okay. I'm bringing everybody's spot back up.
Oh, okay.
Work through your theory. Work through your theory, man.
BGS said okay.
Okay.
Man, like I said,
So basically, you know how if I really want to disrespect, you know what I would actually do?
Go ahead on.
Bullshit. Okay.
All right. So just hear me out. Hear me out on this one.
How do you even do that?
Before you dismiss me totally, just hear me out on this one.
Oh my god.
That's that old school shit.
Just hear me out on this, and after that, if you want to kick me off, you kick me off. It's all good.
No.
Hello?
That's how I disrespect people. Okay. That's how I disrespect people.
Okay. All right. Thank you for disrespecting me. Okay. Just let me say this last thing.
Example, okay? Your theory's not well thought out. That's not going to help you, sir. Anybody in the military would know that's not going to help you, sir.
Okay.
They've known that. If you read, they don't have enough troops, tanks, or material to actually control 331 million people. It's impossible to do that, especially when they have 400 million guns.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
But y'all talking as though it's just the
Yeah,
US
because they
Army.
did
It
so
wasn't
well
just
in
the US
Iraq.
Army.
Because they did so well in Iraq and
Times of pain.
Afghanistan.
They have technology now.
So
You
my
know,
thing,
They had it then too.
Oh, really?
They have better now.
Pray, sir. What technology is going to control 330 million people?
Well, I don't know.
Alright,
A few ballistic
can I finish up
missiles,
my thought?
homing
Transparent
devices,
Bill, just let me finish up my thought for me. And then after that, you just gonna ramble, you go ramble.
cameras everywhere. Literally, you name it. You know, the military, they're doing a lot of stuff behind doors. And your data, which you look for, it's not gonna be there on Google. You know what I mean? Just remember that.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? Like some things, like as you can tell, is not always for the public.
How did they procure contracts?
Excuse me?
How do they procure contracts? In fact, this stuff is it actually is in the online. If you don't know where to look.
Okay, but like some things are hidden from the public.
Like
even
what?
even
Like
if
what? Like how do you know if they're hidden from the public? How do you know about it?
Because it's like if there's evidence for like certain things, especially on video,
if it's hidden from the public,
yeah.
How did you find out about it?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. There's been a few videos circling about on like drones, like just circling about the area, especially in the UK and in America.
From the public, and there's technology out there that I don't know about. How did you find out about it?
I literally just answered your question.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You know, one of the things that's never considered.
Yeah,
Can anybody name
me? It's hidden, but you found out about it, but it's hidden from me.
No,
because he's a special snowflake.
The information about it. The information about it, yeah. Have your little name rhetoric. I don't care. The information about the actual technology is not specified.
So I have a question.
Would you like to have a one-on-one? Would you like to have a one-on-one?
Oh my God, because they just gonna do the same shit, man. Let me say this, and then I'll bounce with the one-on-one. I'll be cool with that. Whenever is considered, when we talk about what they can do, is name me one totalitarian government that has a great economy. Even China had to learn we got to open this shit up in order to make fucking money. That's what they learned from the fucking Russians, is that at the end of the day, you're going to have to fuck with capitalism in some kind of way. Until they start learning how to get shit from space, which they're not. The technology's not there yet. So as far as in America, America's power is its economy, its engine.
America's
if you
going
do stuff
down,
like
Edward.
if you I understand all that, but we're talking about
Go to
that
the grocery
now.
store. Look, food's not even there.
Dude,
America's going down.
If you do it one more time, I'm gonna kick you.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, America is going down. So where you about to move to? Where you about to go? Pick a country. Because Europe's gonna be fucked. Because I promise you this, Europe will be fucked before America is. So Europe's off the table. So where you
I'm
going?
going back to homeland. I'm going back to Israel. I don't know what you talking
Either
about.
somewhere in Africa or somewhere in South America.
Yeah, because Israel is the greatest place to live.
Wait a minute,
I mean,
wait a
Israel.
minute.
By the way,
Guess
hold
you
on.
haven't
By the
read
way,
the
time
Bible.
out. Oh,
Guess you
you
haven't read the
seriously going
Bible.
back to homeland? You seriously say that, sir? Guess what?
Yes.
The
Yes.
day America falls, the
Israel's
next
gone.
day Israel is
It's
done.
gone. Yeah.
Well, Israel is
So
the
I don't
chosen
know.
land.
So that doesn't even make
Come on.
sense.
Dude,
How?
okay,
How? Israel is the chosen
Like
land.
24
Probably one of
hours.
Now, is it Steve 00?
Yes, sir.
You hear what? Now, do you hear why all opinions don't make sense?
See, I can entertain
I
this
hear you. I hear you,
bullshit.
sir. I hear you.
No. Now you hear. Now
Okay,
you hear
you
what
just
I have to
haven't
put
read the
up.
Bible. It's
Now,
fine.
you hear
Remember,
what
I
have to
talk
put
to
You're
up.
into
black
that
women for a
conscious
living.
stuff. You know, I would say it's a bit demonic.
I'm a muting.
Okay, I hear you. I
You said it's
understand.
demonic. I mean, logical. I mean, Israel. Because
No.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, what has Israel really done? I mean, look, I got respect for Israel has done a lot with what they got, but let's be clear here. Israel wouldn't exist
They just
if it wasn't for the United States.
United States just send them a fucking 100 million masks for the IDF. Okay.
Like he talking. He going on. He said. I thought he was talking about Africa. He said that with confidence too, man.
Israel
he didn't
used to be in
flinch, man.
Africa after the cut of the canal. Then it's part of Middle Eastern Europe. Middle Eastern Europe is a new concept. Look it up. Do your research.
That doesn't change. But here's the thing. That doesn't change. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But that doesn't change what I just said. That's like, I mean, shit. Technically, Egypt is a part of Africa.
It is a part of Africa. I'm gonna have a chat with Transparent Pill because
he's on some kind of pill. You need to sell what the fuck you got.
All right.
But can I finish up one last thing right quick? One last thing before you go on one-on-one with Transparent.
Please make it logical. Please.
Well, I'm still on the darts thing. You say you throw your darts about the conspiracy stuff, right? I'm throwing my last dart.
I said throw it to the bullseye. I said if you're gonna throw them, throw it to a bullseye.
Okay.
I can make up a whole bunch of wild theories.
Okay.
At least make them good.
Okay.
What's the last thing you got?
Well, I didn't really want to be my last one to stay on the panel, but I mean, I was gonna say I just believe that.
You believe?
Okay. Like someone, you can even go to Dr. Moonbeam. It's just her opinion on this. But
okay. All right, man.
But hold on. Just hear me out. This coronavirus thing will turn towards black people by us being the carriers, and they're gonna start targeting us here in America. And that the shutting off of the borders is not so that Mexicans can't go out, but that people can't leave.
I don't know.
Oh Lord. Okay, man.
All right, we've got the highest immunity.
Hold up. I'm gonna talk to you in a second, man.
All right.
Now you got me. Make it make sense to me because you haven't so far, and I'm getting irritated.
All right, cool. So what in what topic? Like just 5G and Rona, right?
Well, then 5G. We already killed that one, man.
All right, cool. So what topic?
I don't know. We've been babbling in the background. Sounded like you got something to say.
Not really. He said a rebuttal, and then I just gave a little
rebuttal to what? Israel is actually a client state of the United States. If the United States goes down, there will be no Israel.
Are you sure about that? Because like Israel,
are you sure? How much?
Have you seen the protocols for the elders of Zion?
Have Israel, the state of Israel, gets $30 billion plus from the United States for it to actually defend itself from its neighbors, which do not want them there. What's going to happen to Israel if the United States no longer will actually help them?
What I'm saying is like when obviously
Can you answer my question?
Okay. What was your question? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What was your question?
All right, man. You don't want to talk to me. All right,
no,
man.
I want to talk. What's your question?
You have a good
because
night,
I didn't understand your question.
You know what disrespect is?
Oh,
You know what
come on,
disrespect? You
man.
know what disrespect is?
I
To
didn't
have
understand
to
the
have a
question.
conversation with somebody and then not listen to them.
No, no, no. I was
You
listening. I
you
just didn't
you no,
understand your question.
you want me to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to me. You want me to
No, I want
repeat
to
my
listen
question.
to you. I just didn't understand the
Bullshit.
question.
Bullshit.
No, because you
It's
said something, and
bullshit.
you
Bullshit.
said, okay, you're gonna keep saying bullshit, but I just
Bullshit.
want to
Basically,
understand your question.
okay. Let me calm down for a second. I said that Israel, if the United States goes down, Israel will not exist. You said, am I sure about that? I said, Israel gets $30 billion plus a year to protect itself from its neighbors. Are you following me?
Okay, now I'm following you. Okay, thank you.
What about that you couldn't follow me the first time?
No, it literally, because when I didn't hear that part. All I heard was the 30 billion part where America is protecting Israel.
So
I
how
didn't
come
hear
you
the
didn't hear
other
the
part.
first part?
I don't know. Maybe it was my connection. I just didn't hear it because I did wait for you to, stop talking, and then I did process what you said. Then I came with a rebuttal. That's what I'm saying. I actually didn't even hear you. But
And so,
to answer your question,
so if $30 billion goes away and Israel can no longer protect itself from its neighbors, which do not want them there, what's going to happen to Israel?
Israel economically will die. However, the people there, controversial to say, are not the chosen people of Israel anyways.
All right. Okay, man. We don't talk religion on this channel.
I mean, I would argue it's not religion, it's a bloodline, and da 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 da. Even I'm telling you, man, even the
Are you
elites,
a
they're
philosopher?
using the Bible against.
Are you a philosopher Jew?
You could say that.
No. Are you from the bloodline of a philosopher Jew? Or are you from Eastern Africa?
No, I'm Western Africa.
No, you're not part of the bloodline.
Why would you say that? Because it's actually documented that after the fall of Jerusalem, they fled to not only East Africa, Ethiopia, but West Africa as well. And they actually called the Kingdom of West Africa Kingdom of Judah. So there was a mixture of Hamites and Shemites. So there is a lot more chosen people of Israel than you think. It's not just Ethiopia.
The people that actually entered Egypt, which were called shepherd people, are still there. They still go from Central Africa all the way up to the Horn and all the way over to Iran. They've been doing it for like 10,000 years. They still exist.
Yeah, that's fine. That's because their bloodline.
Where did Abraham come from in the first place? Where did he come from?
They all came from Africa, mostly from Ethiopia and Israel.
Where did Abraham come from initially before he came into across the Horn? Where did he come from originally? If you read the Bible, you should know. Where did he come from?
No, I'm actually still
Iraq.
reading the Bible.
Oh, then you don't know Iraq. Okay, dude.
No, but
no.
It's
dude, it's
no,
okay.
no.
Dude, it's okay. It's okay.
12
man.
tribes of. If it's
okay.
12 tribes of Judah, it's not just the
go back.
eastern.
Go back. The 12 tribes of Judah. The 12 tribes of Judah came from where? From what lineage?
It came from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac,
where did
and
Abraham?
Jacob.
Where did Abraham come from?
And you're telling me Abraham came from Iraq,
from
right?
Ur. Where's Ur located?
And you're saying Iraq, right?
Iraq.
Okay.
Ur it's still the city's still there.
Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't. The thing is, you got to understand, Jews. After the destruction of Jerusalem, the Jews had to move. We didn't stay in one place.
Dude,
know what I mean?
Dude, it's okay.
Well, okay, you're saying it's okay, but I literally just gave you a rebuttal. You're saying something. You're saying like Abraham was from Iraq, so they can only be from Eastern.
In other words,
Ethiopia, but that's just.
I asked you
That's the fallacy.
I asked you gave a very basic question. Basic. Where did Abraham originate from? Did you answer me?
No.
So if you don't know a very basic question, you need to go back and study your religion, sir.
No, but
No,
you're saying no, 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 no,
no.
no, no,
You have a
no,
good.
no.
You have a
Let's
good
no.
night. All right, you guys got 10 minutes.
No, I'm good on. So, thanks for bringing me up. I appreciate it, and
All right.
have a good night on.
All right. You got anything else, Edward?
Oh, yeah, so that's what we on final thoughts. So Transparent was the one that did it. He's the one that had you say fuck it. All right.
If you're gonna say something and you're gonna say that you're a Jew, okay? Say that you're whatever Hebrew Israelite or whatever. You're part of the line, okay?
Probably
If you're gonna say that, and basically that's what you said. That is your religion. I asked you a very fundamental question, basic question. You're supposed to know your lineage. You're supposed to study this stuff, right? Where did Abraham come from? What city he come from? Ur is in where? Iraq. They're shepherd people, okay? They're shepherd
Wasn't
people.
that the same thing? Those are the same book of questions you dusted off and asked deity.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I be remembering this. I mean, I'll say this, man. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to tell y'all what to think, but I will tell you, and trust me, from somebody that has spent years wondering what the fuck is wrong with these black females. It gets to a point where it's kind of like once you know, okay, what are you going to do about it? And the best thing you can do is put yourself in the best position you can win, like BGS I say, with the cards that you got. But at the end of the day, it becomes a exercise of intellectual masturbation. Doing all this, yeah, man, but this is what they trying to do. This is what they trying to do. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, black people thought they couldn't get the coronavirus. Then it just took a couple of CNN stints. Them niggas. What was the thing we said? Remember Men in Black? We said, we knew we were the center of the universe, and then we knew this, and then imagine what we'll know tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave that for black men.
I'm just it's
but BGS, that these niggas don't know is we in a gynocracy. You say that shit, and then all of a sudden they want to act like you do, questioning shit. But all this other bullshit, they'll believe that shit. But did these bitches run their ass? Oh, that's just a bridge too fucking far. Anyway, I'm about to go watch this Mortal Kombat, man. Oh, by the way, watch them rip off the black man's arms, because in every movie with a black man, it's got to be something.
Was it on Netflix or something?
Oh no, hell no! I'm dubbing that shit, but it's on Flickster, where basically they take the dude and you get to watch his arms get ripped off.
Okay. I mean, I have no
always
clue.
doing something to a black man. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm just people think that I disrespect people, and it's like at some point it's like you. Yeah, go ahead.
For the record, I didn't feel disrespected at any point. Nor did I feel lacking in confidence. I was definitely lacking in facts, but I enjoyed the conversation, and I was just pulling out things I was seeing and just throwing them out there, and you put me in the seat to challenge me and ask me questions. I didn't feel like that was condescending or disrespectful, but you asked me questions to challenge a thought to make me step to the next logical step. And I mean, like you said, I wasn't throwing dots and landing on the bullseye, but I wasn't even on the side that 5G was causing it. I just thought that I wanted to know more, like whether it held water or not. That's why I just came in and just jived with the conversation,
Yeah, but people think because what it is really is not that I disrespect people. People think that I make people look bad.
Okay.
And that's the same as disrespect, because I make you look bad. I said I didn't make people get on a soapbox. I didn't make you throw out the theory. All I did was question it.
Right. Yeah. All in all, I enjoyed it, and
all right.
I don't know. I'm winning, so.
Exactly. So anyway,
I'm not in any way feeling diminished by this. It was I think I learned from it, if anything. So it's not a big deal.
And I let you say it in front of what 300-400 people.
Sure.
But that's disrespect. Anyway, y'all, I'm jumping out of here.
All right, you have a good night.
All right, peace.
Take care.